Ladies and gentlemen, people across YouTube, welcome to the 2022 Plainfield Curling Club Bonsqueal Event Finals. We will be playing for the first event and third event finals here at Plainfield Curling Club. My name is Robert Young, and I will be pretending to know enough about curling to offer some level of decent commentary for you. We are very excited to bring you curling if we can only get the audio to work as well. Hold on, please. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Please, someone check to see if we got audio levels. Check 1, 2. Hello, everybody. If you can hear me, please let me know in the chat room. Hello, everybody. For those of you who are watching on sheet C, I am currently trying to fix the sheet A the Sheet 1 event. So please pardon me, I am working on that as we speak. Alright, everybody, please double check if you are on the live stream right now. Check to see if our A event is running, and I'm taking a look at all the chat rooms here. Just waiting to hear back from everybody whether or not the A event live stream is going. If you can let me know in either of the chat rooms or by text, that would be fantastic for me, please. Just wanted to make sure before we get started and situated here that we know you all can hear access to both the Sheet C event and the Sheet A event. So they could kindly confirm that for me, please. That would be wonderful. While we get situated, my name is Robert Young, and I'll be providing some level of commentary for the 2022 A event and C event finals here at the Bonsqueal Curling Club. I'll be joined shortly by Plainfield Curling Club's resident golden retriever, John Gephardt, as he celebrates his pre-event victory on Team Gephardt. I am, again, just wanting to get some level of confirmation that you all can hear or see the A event final, which is currently streaming right now. So if you are on Sheet C, please go over to the A event final and see if that's streaming, and if it is, please let us know in the chat room that you can in fact see everything. I would appreciate it. I'm going to work on that now as we speak. Alright, so hopefully you all heard the dog in the background. If you can just confirm audio. I'm going to be waiting to hear comments about audio here so immediately on the live stream. But welcome to the Plainfield Curling Club live streaming event, the A event. Right now, also at the same time, we have our event awards. For those of you who might not have seen, we had the previous hit at our B event, the event finals. Our finalist from the D event was Mark Bacon, Team Bacon out of the Curling Club, taking on Team Nickel from the Plainfield Curling Club, with Team Nickel taking on taking the win with a beautiful raised takeout for 4 to take the win in 7. We also had Team Khan going up against Team Coburn, and Team Coburn taking the win by steal at the end. So they're currently doing the award ceremony right now, and in a little bit you will be joined by our friend, and we'll probably do a lot better job mixing the audio. As I'm told, the audio levels are a little off right now, and for that I apologize, since I know very little about this. I'm just here to talk, y'all. I don't know the technical side of things. So as we get situated here, we are in the A event final and the D event final. The audio will be streaming on both of the channels. On sheet 2 for our C event final, we have our teams from Summit Curling Club under Jeff Brett, a former Plainfield member, taking on Team Sullivan of Plainfield Curling Club. And right now, it looks to be, just want to check on this, Team Greg will have hammer, and actually this is Team Greg's hammer shot right now, sitting, it appears, my apologies everybody, the technical snafus kind of kept me away from understanding what was really happening.
All the people helping out, all the food, the bar, the ice. I was particularly impressed, personally, at how many of our newest members are all
so Team Sullivan takes a steal of 1 in the first end on sheet 2 for the C event final, but on our A event final, on sheet 1, we are currently in the Hammer Rock right now for Team Beltry, but Team Beltry taking on Team Baird, both Plainfield teams. Right now we have Team Beltry with the hammer shot. Yellow is currently sitting 1, 2, and possibly 3. So this looks like it could be an early bundle. It looks like it's going to be a hit on the red counter. Good contact for Beltry. From the camera angle, you only see Beltry's coming in. it's going to be enough of a push so that Veltri sits full on
Thank you for
after
Martin
one.
and his team. Great
So,
final game.
just waiting for confirmation from the Vice on Veltri. Veltri takes 4 in the first. The 8 end games for our event finals. Our Bonsqueal has been a 6-event Bonsqueal to end our season. It is confirmed that Veltri takes 4. I want to apologize, everybody. It might seem like I'm a little scattered. It's because there's an event stream going on. The events are award ceremonies are occurring in the background, so I apologize for any confusion. But right now, we are in the second end of everything. We've got Team Sullivan sitting at the house on T2 for the C event final, and Carl Lerner, the lead on Team Veltri, is starting the house setup on T1. So, if you have any comments in the chat room regarding audio levels, or if you can hear anything, please let me know in the chat room. I currently have all chat rooms open. We are very excited to have you all join us. I am just procrastinating from all the work that I need to do, so I came in and decided, well, if you give me a microphone, I will not shut up. So let me, tackle this. And I have enough caffeine to last me 2 more hours. So there we go. So I believe that the audio from the stream, my audio level is very low. Okay, I will work to fix the audio levels. Thank you very much for letting me know. I will be working on getting the audio levels fixed for you all. Please do an audio check. How about now? No sound on sheet 1. Okay, well this is great to hear. Also, I think I hear myself a little bit better in here, so if you have any complaints, please let me know. But apparently sheet 1 has no sound. Well, once the award have our technical people come over here and help us out, all of our technical people are currently getting awards. So, congratulations again. I appreciate everybody to know. So on sheet 1, we'll be fixing that ability. Our tech wizards are awesome. Red sitting 1, Sullivan sitting 1, but corner guard situation has to look good for Team Greg. However, we're not getting a lot of curl on the second rock, and it seems like we're going to get the two-line draw, but just not enough motion, so it's going to sit on the toes.
I hope we got that fixed. I can't. I literally just looked waist high. So, eyes up. We are 3-year running back to COVID back champs.
So, right now on sheet 1, we're looking at a relatively open house. We've got a centerline guard with Veltri and corner guard for Bears. On sheet 2 here, a little hot on the a little bit wet on the temp, but we have a nice raise for the yellow behind the guards, and it might actually be clear behind the guards. But Jeff, unfazed, is going for the draw behind the 2 guards on the outturn side. So let's go ahead and actually get a more improved view here. Great. All right. I need to double check a couple things real quick. So we will get audio fixed as soon as possible. Congratulatory cheer for the makers of the trophies, which, by the way, the trophies look amazing this year. So thank you for all of our volunteers. And also, just like I said last stream, I want to take this time to thank Bev Luderman, who did a brilliant job preparing for this year's Bonsqueal. It has been amazing. For those of you who are plane fielders, please make sure you take the time to thank not only Bev, but also thank all of our volunteers that came out and did a fantastic job making sure that we were entertained and entertaining. So. Come back on the guard for Sullivan. Pushes the red, the yellow sitting one right now. Watch. Shoot one. Five. Looks like it's going to come through the guard center line on the one. And we will be getting audio. Let's do an audio. Ooh, that actually sounds significantly higher. I was on the wrong headphones. Somebody switched my headphones, and now my audio is ridiculous. Hello, everybody. For those of you who might have just got startled by the massive volume, I apologize. If anyone can tell me in the chat room how much of a change that was in the audio levels, I'd appreciate it. And if they can hear anything on the ice. Again, I'm sorry for, possibly startling anybody. Oh, all of a sudden I got text messages. Oh, so much better. Great. Yep, that was my fault, everybody. Unfortunately, the wrong headphones were hooked up. So that's, again, I'm not the tech person, so my bad. All right, so just figuring out where there's that. I just want to make sure I can get my chat room going. Pop up the chat. All right, cool. Life is a little bit better right now. I say a little bit because I still have no clue what I'm doing, and I don't want to mess anything up. Okay, so there's that, and then there's that, and then there's that. Sweet. All right. Oh, all of a sudden, excellent audio, much better. Just got the sound on sheet 2, nothing on sheet 1. Thank you very much, Marianne. We are working to fix that. 95% improvement. Ken, I really appreciate your commitment to precision on that. Still no sound on sheet 1. Okay. I am not a tech person. I am very sorry, everybody, but we are waiting to get the setup for sheet 1, which I think we can go... that's not the right one. So how do I get sheet 1? Okay. All right. We are currently getting a tech guru to get us some sound on sheet 1, so I apologize if we'd like to hear what's going on sheet 1. We are working on it. And by we, I mean other people who know more than I do about this. But I've got the chat room going, so if there's any complaints on sheet 1, we can go on that.
He'll be over a second.
All right. Looking at our action right now, we've got on sheet 1, we've got a single counter on sheet 1 for Baird. And Gabe, I believe Gabe is throwing Vice Rocks for Don Baird. I believe so. That's what that is. Yep. Believe that weight looks like to be a draw weight, but that looks like enough weight that you can probably promote and sit 1. It looks like it's sitting. It's already sitting 1 right now, and Veltri is sitting 2 in the back. That's a little lighter than I think that was the call. It might have been also an attempt at guarding that shot rock on sheet 1. And on sheet 2, Jeff Grech looks to be about ready to throw his first with the hammer. It looks to be a really clutterable, front house. But it does appear that Grech is sitting 1-2 right now. So the question right now for Jeff is going to be, do I go in for 3 or do I try to clog up any type of yellow promotes? That is the bread and butter of Neil Sullivan. That is something that you always have to think about. I remember that from the PCC Stone this year. So Jeff's first is away. Sweepers are on it. It looks like it is curling a lot, so it looks like it's an attempt at guarding up the yellows, but it looks like this losing some steam. It just needs to get over the hog line. We get the vice going out to help, but it's a nice 1+ guard. So good sweeping effort from the front end for Grech. It does leave a nose hit on a nose promote on one of the yellows. So Neil, throwing his second rock against 2 counters right now, and Ed Veltri throwing his first of the without hammer on sheet 1, and it looks to be an attempt at drawing for counter to beat out the first rock for Baird, and that does look a little on the light side. So it looks like a 2 guard right in the pile of guards right now. I've already been told my commentary is good. Do not worry, that will change very soon. And again, I just want everybody to be aware, if you are on here for sheet C, or you're trying to watch sheet 1 and sheet C at sheet 1 and sheet 2 at the same time, I am aware that there's no audio on sheet 1. We are working to fix that. I do not know anything about this, and I do not want to mess up anything right now. So I'd rather keep this and not mess anything up right now. Neil Sullivan, second. Weight looks good, but it looks like it's going to clip the red guard, find its purchase onto the yellow. But right now, Jeff is sitting 1-2. Possibility to get 3, and they're looking at the front house, very clustered up at the front, figuring out how do I get my 3 without messing up my 2. Don Baird right now working his way down for his first of 2 on sheet 1. Right now it's looking right now, oh, sorry, I'm messing with the microphone placement, sorry. I'm wearing a mask at the same time, so I really can't gauge whether or not you can hear me or if the mask is rustling, so I apologize. Please let me know in the chat room if there's any issues with the audio on C, because you've already let me know about the audio issues on not C, on 2. You've already let me know about the audio issues on sheet 1. So both the skips lining up their shots. Don's on the approach right now. It's a little on the outside there for Baird, so the attempt at promoting the red is there, as long as it stays a little bit on the wider side. And there it is, and Gabe's helping it along. It's sitting now 1-2. Cannot tell if it's fully exposed. It looks like it's about fully exposed, if not edge on edge. So there's a chance at the open hit for the 1. And the distance between the guard and the shot rock is enough where you can do a nice hack to backline weight, hack to board weight to get some motion on it, sit 1 buried. As for sheet 2 action, Jeff Grech just missed on the chance for the promote. However, it is for a 2. So, after stealing 1 in the first, Team Grech gets their deuce in 2, and they're up 2-1, starting the 3rd. And remember, the Bonsqueal has always been a 6-end event, but the event finals are 8 ends. I did not learn this until midway through the broadcast for the B and D events. People were really confused as to why I was making such a big deal about the 5th end when it was 8-end game. I'm sorry, I was distracted by dogs and also not knowing what was going on. but I digress. Ed Veltri setting up for his last. The line looks like it's probably going to be a heavy draw line. He just needs to make contact and push the red back to really make Don's last a little bit more of a headache than you would like for your last. As we get ready to set up the house in sheet 2 for the third end. Mark Zempel on sheet 1, sweeping with Carl Lohner, trying to sweep some curl. Looks like the weight is there. It just needed to curl a hair more. It does the job. It comes up at the end. It does the job to limit to 1. And now Don has a draw for 2. Any contact on the yellow, you're just going to get your 1. So the question is going to be, how do you do your draw? And it looks like they're lining up on the intern side. Just to tap the 2 reds to get your deuce. So we've got double taps on sheet 1 for Don to grab a deuce. And we are now on the normal Sunday behavior where everyone's getting really tired. So anybody walking into the warm room is going to get applause regardless if they're coming from the inside or from the ice shed. So you can definitely tell everybody's ready for, I don't know, just ready for a good time, which we like. Don Baird, sweepers are off of it. They were close, and it looks a little wide, but are we going to get any contact? No contact on the raises. It had the weight right, but just a little bit extra on the line. Don Baird, Team Baird getting a single, and they are down 4-1 without hammer after 2. Now, I just want to let everybody know here, please do not worry. The better of the commentators, John Gebhardt, will be joining us shortly. We might continue the roast of John Gebhardt. The roast of John Gebhardt was something that we were doing at the end of his match last. However, it wasn't really more of a roast. It was just how good of a guy is John Gebhardt. We also found out from his mother that we know why he's the golden retriever. He had kibbles and bits as a kid. It all makes sense now. So John Gebhardt will be joining us shortly as a second commentator, a better commentator, as we get situated here in the third on both sheets. We do wish that everyone had a wonderful Bonsqueal weekend. Just to let you know, this is the Plainfield Curling Club's final event with rocks for the season. We have one more event next weekend. We have our traditional keg curling, where we say goodbye to our ice the best way that we can, throwing empty kegs down the ice. It is a hoot and a holler and a half, and we are excited to have our, a keg curling event that we haven't had in a while. This is the first Bonsqueal we've had in a few years. I'm really excited to see what Bev Wiedemann, who has been our amazing Bonsqueal coordinator, I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do with only 1 year of prep for next year's Bonsqueal as opposed to the 3 that we had this time. I told her that earlier, and she couldn't stop laughing. So apparently that was something called funny. All right, and we are now getting situated with the second rocks here on sheet 2. Neil Sullivan's facing 3 counters right now. But enough that they can get, if they drew down, they have a chance to complicate some things. But it was a little bit wide, a little bit high. Gets a takeout on the third rock. And Jeff calling in for the draw into the center line. Looks like it's a top 8 call. And on sheet 1, Don Baird getting set up. There's a 1 counter from Veltri sitting in, and I believe the attempt was a hit. And it just slides right on through. So it looked like it was a hack weight hit. So either needed it a little bit more line or a little bit more weight from Don's lead. just want to let everybody also know that this is the end of the season for a lot of clubs, but we still have a few international events going on for USCA. This weekend we have the World Mixed Doubles, where the Hamilton siblings are representing the United States. We also have a men's and women's seniors team being fielded in this year's Worlds. As of yesterday, all the American teams in these international events have been undefeated. It is the start of a lot of the events, but to have 3 solid wins is great. We've had a pretty solid year for USA Curling this year, and we're really excited about, ending this Olympic cycle on a high note and seeing what the next 4 years is going to bring. We're also really excited to have our own Dean Gemmel be the voice of USA Curling. It's been wonderful having him, and also we're listening to him and figuring out tips on how to do it ourselves here. So there is that. We are now getting ready to go into Vice Rocks here on sheet 2. Jeff Grech, Team Grech is sitting 1, 2, 3 with Neil Sullivan having 2 counters onto the side, and Jeff is completely happy to continue piling it up on the center line in the 12-foot. I will say that his Vice, I currently do not have. I believe it's Paul Luthi. I apologize if that's incorrect. I'm looking at a really weird font on a background. Paul has definitely won Sunday Best Dressed. It's really gone for the understated ensemble of a neon pink shirt and floral pants that I've only seen when I visited South Carolina. So well done, Best Dressed for Bonsqueal, at least for Sunday anyway. Neil Sullivan calling for a normal hit. There's a double in line nicely. So asking Linda Carubia, the vice for Team Sullivan, to go for the double. While we take a look over at sheet 1, Terry Chalmer is the second for Team Baird. And with the line, I can't tell if it's either draw behind. Oh, there it is. It's going to be a draw to freeze on top of the yellow counter that's sitting back 8. So we got Terry in the hack ready to go for Baird, and we have Paul in the hack for Team Grech being called on for a center line guard. And I just want to let everybody know that the actual person that we all want to hear, Plainfield Curling Club's own Golden Retriever John Gephardt. Hello, John Gephardt.
Oh, I don't know about that, Rob, but it is my pleasure to join you here on the microphone.
This is so cool. We get 2 people on this. This is great.
Oh.
Now we can pretend we know what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's always easier behind the glass, Rob.
Oh. Yeah, we already know this. This
Yeah.
is great. However, there is one thing that Scott Alexander, not Terry Chalmer. I apologize, and thank you for the correction on that.
Yep.
My bad. I want to let you know.
Yes.
We don't have audio on sheet 1.
Oh, I can fix that.
Please do.
Yes.
So
we have no audio at all on sheet 1.
I've been told by the amazing Mark Hopp and Robin that there is no audio on sheet 1.
I think we can probably fix that.
Great. Please do, because I know nothing.
Well, I see that our crossover cable is in play, so that's a good thing.
Okay.
I think that what I have to do is with this audio microphone.
All right. Well, while the audio microphone is going on, Linda Carubia is throwing her second just to open up something to get after those 3 red counters. Right now, 4 red counters in the house. Team Grech is doing a great job in controlling that 4-foot. Oh my God, I love the duo. So we're getting comments from Kate Trella via my text messaging, because I don't know why she's not participating in the chat room. Also, she was also heckling me during the other one.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate it.
No, heckling me. Don't appreciate her heckling me.
Well, then I appreciate it more, Kate.
Oh,
that you were heckling Rob.
There we go. All right, well, let's take a look here. We've got a draw attempt from Gabe to attempt to sit 2 for Baird. It's looking a little hot right on through. Ed Slacks Veltri, doing his best as skip sweeping right through.
I guess my question to those out in the audience there, Rob, was whether or not your audio was coming across on sheet 1 in the previous game.
You know what?
Yeah.
I never bothered to ask.
That's okay.
All right. Well,
I mean, I can always. Here's what I can do when I get home and I watch my own game, Rob. I can pretty much play both streams at once. I'll watch my game and I'll put the other one in the background, all synced up, and I'll be able to hear all the commentary. It's going to be perfect. But let me try to fix this for the rest of the viewing audience.
All right. So while Tech Guru is doing his thing, John DeYoung on sheet 1, going after the shot rock in red, gets the hit. I do want to just let everybody know that, yes, indeed, John DeYoung, as he normally does at the Bonsqueal, is wearing shorts.
Oh, my gosh.
It's so pasty. It's so pasty. Please do not look directly at the legs.
Nothing but respect. I'm very much team shorts, Rob. I tend to govern the seasons by the first time I put shorts on, and it is just such a gut punch when I have to put any kind of pants back on.
Well,
before
it's not
like January.
It's not the shorts that are a problem. I am typically a skip for Chris Springer.
Okay.
Chris Springer, known for some of the best shorts in all of curling.
Also quite the shortsman.
Quite the shortsman.
Yeah.
However, it is the amazing tube socks that John DeYoung are wearing.
Oh, yeah.
That really kind of accent the pastiness of his legs. By the way, I'm not saying anything that John DeYoung wouldn't be saying. He himself referred to them as very pasty.
Tree trunks, though.
Exactly.
Those guys do some squats.
He has to. So Neil Sullivan is now going after, looks like an attempt at the draw. Jeff Grech did a great job with a well-placed guard, protecting his forward counters on sheet 2 here. While John DeYoung is throwing another hit on sheet 1. We have a really open house for sheet 1 in the third end, and we've got a very cluttered house, as one would expect, on sheet 2, the bailiwick of Team Sullivan. Neil throwing his first with hammer. Line's looking good from the warm room. The question is going to be whether or not he's got the weight. Weight's looking good. Is it going to pass by that guard, though? Passes, just rubs the guard, but it's not a bad rub. He still manages to get into that clutcher, and it drops down the counts from 4 to 2. Still favoring Jeff, but now is a little bit of a complication to the matter with that one red or that one yellow sitting precariously right there. So a guard, you can't guard all the options, but you can guard on the outside. So Jeff coming down, getting ready to throw his last of the third end. Don Baird on his way to throw his first on sheet 1.
Rob, you are an absolute natural at this, and I'm very much enjoying it. As
This
I
is
sit very quietly and pensively and trying to figure out this audio. You are just absolutely crushing it.
Listen,
and I want to sing your praises.
And I am a motor mouth. If you give me an opportunity to talk,
Oh my
we all
goodness.
know I will not shut up. We know this at Potomac, Bucks, Philly, Ardsley, Nutmeg,
Anyone that
Brimstones.
will let either of us on the ice is a fool.
Yes.
But at least someone that can go take a break for a while, because they can be sure that they do not need to come monitor us. We will chatter until you take the mic off of our head.
Absolutely, and we might have opinions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part.
Well, it's
Give us an
easiest to
opportunity
call the game from back here.
Exactly. And usually when I'm wrong, you'll forget about it.
That's right. I mean, yeah, you'll forget about it one shot later.
Especially
and I'll keep reminding you when I'm right.
Hey, speaking of being wrong, did you know that these are 8 end games and not 6?
I did.
I did not.
I kept telling my team that as we came out on the ice. I said, hey guys, these are going to be an 8-end game. It's going to be a completely different strategy. If we end up giving up a 3 or a 4, which we gave up a 5, stick with it. It's okay. Let's not get our head out of the game.
I will say, from back here, I thought Team Coburn did a really great job making sure that they stayed in it after the 5.
Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed both the B and D event finals. For those of you who are listening, I definitely suggest going back and taking a look at those games. Those were really excellent games.
I hear
Definitely
they have
a
excellent
slug.
commentary.
They had mediocre commentary at best. Neil Sullivan in the house right now, trying to figure out the angles for the Neil Sullivan. Motioning from the hack to throw control weight. So the idea is going to be, what's the line to get the control weight? It's definitely there. That red line, that red rock is exposed. If you just hit off the high side just a hair, it will careen. It'll do a promote and pop some red out to sit 1 yellow. Slacks, Ed Veltri running down to prepare to throw his second. Right now, Don Baird is sitting 1, right in line with Ed's second shot. And if Ed can just pop that red, he can hit and flop over to sit 2 to force Don into a single.
Rob, the worst part of this is that I actually fixed this yesterday at some point when the audio was not playing, and I thought to myself at the time, hey, should I write down what I did? You know, just in case it's handy later, and I was like, nah, there's only one more day of events. This won't be handy.
As a scientist, I actually, believe writing things down is very important. However, as a curler, why would you waste the energy?
Oh, I have a fantastic set of, I have a set of Google Keep notes on just about everything. I can tell you every Bonsqueal that I've actually been in, Rob.
Hey, did you write down how to check the audio levels on sheet 1?
I did not. That is my one crowning failure.
There we go. It's not a failure. It's an opportunity to learn and grow.
Oh, I like that.
Speaking of opportunities to learn and grow, unfortunately, Ed Veltri had over-curled his shot. There was a really interesting line on that one. I thought the line was great, but it just moved a lot, so it might have looked like it picked on something, a knee print of some sort, possibly. But right now, on sheet 1, Don Baird is lining up for a shot for 2, while Neil Sullivan is going for the raise to hit 1. He gets contact on the red, but enough of a miss. Team Grec is stealing 2 in the third. Team Grec up 4-1 after 3 for the C event final. And speaking of ending right now, on sheet 1, just not enough sweeper on that one. And it looks like it was, wait, hold on. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I was wrong. That is a yellow 1 rock, not a yellow 2 rock. I apologize. Veltri had hammer on has hammer on N3. My apologies on that one. That yellow rock that was far away from the normal cluster, I thought that was for sheet 2. So Veltri has hammer here, nice, not game. Baird. I apologize. And Veltri coming down for the hammer rock. His front end not paying attention to his rock as well. We're not. None of us are paying attention to that A rock, John.
No. I'm certainly not. I'm still floundering in the land of settings. But you are doing such a tremendous job that I don't feel pressured to join you in the commentary yet. I can't wait until I solve this, at which point I will join you.
John Gebhardt,
continue with it, Rob.
You take all the time you need.
Keep crushing it.
All right. Well, you know what? You're crushing it too.
Thanks.
You're an amazing human being, and I am grateful for you being here.
I'm happy for our friendship, Rob.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. All right. So Veltri looks like it's good control weight. The goal here is to make sure you can clip that red and still keep around for 2. Sweeper's on it, trying to hold that line. Question's going to be, are you going to just over-curl into that red? So it over-curls, and it looks like it is a steal of possibly 2 by Team Baird. Just waiting for confirmation. It should be 2. I just couldn't see it because of all the settings that John has going.
Yes, Mark Hoppy, I am making an attempt here.
Sweet.
It
is a 2
right.
For Baird. So, Land of Steals going on. So Veltri has a lead 4-3 in the A event final after 3.
Oh, wow. That's a tight match.
Yes, it is. All right, so we're starting to set up the house on the 4th end on sheet 1, and taking a look here at sheet 2. Neil Sullivan with hammer, Team Grec with a shot on the back button. Looks a little bit on the warm side for the draw attempt. Jeff trying his best to sweep it out, but I really don't want to make fun of Jeff. I love Jeff. Jeff's been one of my closest friends, and yet making fun of him on YouTube sounds like a great opportunity, and yet I kind of want to pull the trigger on that.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Also,
he's a very nice guy.
Also, he could beat me up. Well, actually, most people can, so it's just like, why bother?
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to face Grec in an alley
Well,
either.
he's a hockey player. Do you really want to try?
Right, he's got a smile, but I mean, he probably throws like a mean left.
He probably does. All right, we're trading hits. It looks like we're just going for a clean house on sheet 1. Sheet 2, looks to be a nice attempt at a guard on the center line. It's looking really good. If they can drag that just a little bit and lock on to that yellow guard, that's going to be a really interesting stagger for Neil to deal with later. However, about a foot and a half short, which is fine. It's still a great guard, but it also tightens up that line, so it's not an easy hack hit to nose on the shooter, on the shot rock. I mean, sorry.
That's fair.
Mark Ryman, the second for Neil Sullivan. Going for that second attempt at the draw. The first attempt was a little on the warm side, and the weight looks better, but the sweeper's not. Oh, there it is. Sweepers are on it now. The line's looking good. Just get that curl. Just drag it as far as you can. It's looking good. If the sweepers can drag it, Neil's coming out helping out as well. Just a couple feet short, which is a good setup shot for later. Having that second shot there is real good. It's good enough that Jeff wants to guard it. If Neil wants to go after it, Jeff is very much okay with getting more rocks in front to make it more complicated on them later. On sheet one, it's looking like Veltri going for the split after the failed attempt at the hit by Team Baird. Scott Alexander, also known as not Terry Chalmer, in the hack right now, setting up for his, I believe, second. With that line, I can't really tell off the cuff if this is a hit into this first shot or if it's a draw into the second. And it looks like it's a hit onto the shot rock. If they can get it just right, they might be able to get enough of a roll. But right now, the priority is just making contact with that shot rock. And Scott's got the contact. The roll, it's a little too floppy, and it gets out of the house. And Veltri is now sitting one.
You never want a floppy roll, Rob.
No, you don't want an overly floppy roll. No, we don't want that.
You want to keep your roll firm, possibly tender, but you don't want floppy.
No, there is a level of flop.
Okay.
But too floppy, it's just not helpful.
You want to work on it. You want to tone it up.
Yes. A tone flop is great. Two flop is just not enough. A thick flop is great. 2C thick flop is great.
Rob, I've successfully re-added audio on sheet one. I'm going to make a note of what the heck I just did.
Hey, don't forget,
it's pretty deep in the settings.
It's a great idea to write things down at the end of the season.
It is.
When we're not going to see any of this until September.
And that's when I'll need the notes the most.
What notes?
Oh, I've got a full array. I want to thank Mark Hoppy for giving me about an hour of his time. I don't know, a month and a half ago, after one of our Monday night games. Mark stayed until from like 11 to midnight with me, and he gave me a brief lesson on how to dial in some of these I mean, there's 30 dials on this audio board, and I have no background on that, but I feel a little better after Mark Hoppy.
And Mark even did that for free, which is hilariously a bad idea. Send him an invoice, Mark. Get some cash on that. So sheet one, we're having that split situation again. Don Baird is happy just going after the shot rock, hitting and flopping over yet again. This is maybe a better flop this time, thrown from Scott Alexander. While on sheet two here, Linda Krubia, it looks like Neil wants to play a nice heavy draw to open up the stagger on the yellow. Because right now Jeff is sitting one, and there's no way that Neil can get after it with the way that the 2 and 3 yellow are staggered. So unlocking those 2 yellows is going to be great for him. The rock is off. It looks a little on the wide side. So if we can get some extra curl on that, that'd be great. Sweepers are not touching it. And it looks like it's just, board weight. No give on that. No dig on that. So changes some lines a little bit. It's nicer. But still, Jeff is like, you know what? Put that guard back in there again. This is what I love about playing against Neil Sullivan or watching Neil Sullivan is just
good luck. Where do you put a guard?
Where do I put a guard that he's not going to use?
Yeah.
Because he will use them. And he will use them in such a way that you will give yourself a facepalm at the end of 8, wondering where everything went wrong. At an event, and trying to get into Sunday, I'm not projecting on anything that happened to me during the Stone.
Oh, no. Oh, no. These things do happen.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, you give Neil Sullivan basically like anything, any kind of guard at any level, and he's either going to run that guard up, or he's going to wick off of it, or he's going to get like 3 different bounces that his head is calculating as he throws.
Speaking of Neil Sullivan, let me just go ahead and publicly say, go Carolina.
Okay.
He is a Duke fan. So let's just go ahead and leave it there.
I am getting confirmation that the audio now works on sheet 1.
Yay!
My pleasure, everyone.
Let's go ahead.
I'm surprised that I got that working.
If we can get golf claps going on sheet 1 chat room, that would be amazing.
these things work. All right.
No one's commenting in the chat room, which means either they're thoroughly entertained
Oh no! Look
or
at
they're
this.
thoroughly bored.
You've got it. You've got audio. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a while ago, buddy.
Oh,
I'm not
was
talking
it?
about now.
Oh, well, yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
I do have an empty stomach beer in me, Rob. I will admit that.
Oh, well, go get some food, dude. You earned it. You worked your
No,
butt
I
off.
apologize. It's not empty. I did have some. Elena made a Ukrainian many-layer cake. I think that thing had like 8 different base layers.
Oh,
so probably
jeez.
it was like a 16 or 17-layer cake when you factor in the frosting.
John Gebhardt, do you know what I miss?
What's that?
I miss cake. I miss eating fun food.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently fun food with sugar is a great thing to have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I miss it.
Is this from like a?
Oh, it's because I would like to not be where I was a while back.
That's fair. I am also making those calculations at the moment, Rob. I've got a race next week, and I figure I'm probably going shirtless on that. I'm not really an abs guy, but I figure any extra pound that I can not carry up 11,000 feet of elevation gain is probably going to be to the betterment of my knees and such.
Yeah. I will say, though, I am also not a person who needed abs until I was on the precipice of seeing abs, and then I got really into it. So, however, the pandemic happened, and I found my new friend, Carbs. It was not... it was a sad experience when I realized how much I love rice and all the things that you can do with rice. And we got compliments from Marianne, thank you. And, oh, that's a nice curling emoji. Look at that.
Yeah, it's very nice.
All right, so let's take a look at the breakdown. We should actually probably focus on the curling right now.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It is a yellow...
I mean, we can focus on your abs if you want, Rob.
Well, one day when I can find them again. It is a yellow-friendly situation here on the fourth end for both of these houses. John DeYoung is, I want to say, he's maybe either going to guard up what we're seeing as a very favorable house for Team Veltri. They're sitting 3, relatively open and staggered, which is nice to split like this, especially when you do not have the hammer. Probably a center line guard would be utterly great, but it's looking a little warm. It might actually just sit top 4 or give some separation between the shot rock there. So we've got Veltri sitting 4 without hammer. Nope. 4 with hammer, sorry, in the fourth end on sheet 1. And Jeff Greck is facing a lot of yellow. However, there's a one red behind a couple stagger guards, so it's favorable for Jeff right now, and he's just content to try to get a center line guard. And sweepers are not on it right now, and they need to get some curl on it, and there's some curl happening from Lauren. Lauren, who's been a brilliant sweeper this whole weekend for Jeff. Both Lauren and Paul have done a great job on the sweep, as well as Joe. I believe, I'm not mistaken, Joe is a third-year curler, and sweeping like somebody who is on team Gushu, or who am I thinking of? Colin Hodgman. He reminds me of Colin Hodgman out there sweeping. So for a third year, great form out there. So they're training him right down in Potomac.
I think I messed up your sheets there. Thank you, audience, for letting me know that I probably did that.
Are you telling me that I didn't mess anything up?
That's right.
That is great.
I think that's probably better for everyone watching at home. You let me know in about 10... Well, I guess when you hear my voice, we'll be up to date as far as you're looking. So
while
that looks better now.
While we're getting some sheets things figured out, Don Baird in the hack, getting ready to throw his first. There is an opportunity here. That third rock, there's a third shot rock in the back 8. Don hits it just right. He can hit and flop over and actually sit 1.
Okay.
So the question is going to be, it looks a little wide from my angle here in the house, but if it comes up and curls just right, he might be able to get it, but it's still really wide. It needs to come over a lot. Coming down on weight a bit, so it's a good backline weight, the way he wanted, but just really wide out. And it's counting 5th rock, so it's inconsequential right now at this moment. and it might be something that Ed wants to think about for an easy hit on his last. So Veltri in clear command of this end right now, looking over at Neil Sullivan. As one would do if you are Neil Sullivan, triple taps to get rid of the yellow, to get rid of the red that's sitting shot. Neil Sullivan's first here on sheet 2. Mark Riemann on the sweep just to make sure the line's there. It's not curling a lot right now. It's going to be just off of nose, basically replacing itself. So Jeff faced with pretty simple decision, guard that same path that Neil just threw. I will say that after watching the last game with the spectacular Bill Nickel shot,
Sure.
I am looking at this slash. There's a slash there from Sullivan.
That's what Mark Mooney was telling me, Rob, that I have to go back and look for Bill's slash. Bill apparently had an angle raise in for 4.
So the idea was that if you nose hit the angle that the raise that he was going for,
Okay.
there was a 4. And then I will make an observation as a commenter that Bill has been a little tight on the line on the hits.
Sure.
Curling a little bit more than anyone would expect on the ice. Well, it happened again, but the curl happened in just such a way that it actually hung out a little bit longer. No, not longer. It curled enough where it hit at an angle and slashed out Zakin's counter that was behind a lot of... Basically, it kind of looked like Neil's house now.
Sure.
And it just hit it in such an angle that it popped it out and set 4.
Oh, that's perfect. And that's always the fear you have when you're you're skipping or you're vicing and you're like, okay, I've got my one rock touching a button somewhere. But oh man, if their 7 or 8 rock happens to find a way in here, then I'm in trouble.
And
especially if you're not sitting hammer.
I remember the commentary. I sat there thinking, like, I do not know how Bill's going to get after this. I saw that the raise was there, but the raise, the way that there was 2 yellows that were sitting just off of it enough. And then, of course, because he is apt to do this, John DeYoung comes up behind me and says, oh, yeah, it's there, and then walks away. And then, of course, it was there. So John DeYoung, being the rock whisperer that he is,
oh, man.
in the warm room, is hilarious.
Oh, so much so I had to play the 9:30 semis game in the B event today, Rob. And on my opponent's last shot, I came over and I sat on the kegs by the door. And I asked John, for his commentary, like, did I make the right decision advising Patty for my 7 and 8 rock? And I was very pleased when John said, you know what? Yeah, I would have called the same shots.
So apparently Neil Sullivan has thanked us in the chat room.
I know. Neil Sullivan's very prescient. He's watching from the future.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused, but here's Neil Sullivan, I think maybe thanking himself. We don't really know. We're about to find out.
I think so.
He's going for that hit that he threw in his first.
I mean, if yellow makes us over on sheet 2 on this shot,
he's thanking himself for
huge.
he's found time travel. He is, in fact, the new incarnation of Dr. Who.
Oh, is he going to get it up? Oh, he nearly sold
Nearly
that
got
one.
it.
So I think if you're Jeff there, you're breathing a sigh of relief. You're happy to get your 1. You're happy to increase your lead to 4. Nice end by Jeff.
Yeah, Team Greg, brilliant job making sure.
I don't think it counted there. You might have dropped your 1. I think.
Why did I
you
drop
just
my
dropped
1?
it.
Drop my 1. There it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't think you have to hit update. Not sure.
No, you should, because it doesn't
Okay.
catch on there.
I saw it was paused earlier, so I hit play, and I think that might make it just automatic, but I'm not sure.
Sheet 1, there was an attempt to pick out that red, but right now it looked like it was a miss at the pick for the hit for the multiple on yellow, and right now the question is, it is now a measure call to see who in fact is shot rock. So Don Baird's first ended up being a little bit more of a headache than Veltri was hoping for it to be, and a miss on the attempt to pick out that red results now in a measure.
So something I like, we saw a broom go down, to represent, hey, don't step back over here. But I think that the current advice on that, Rob, is don't put your broom near the ice.
Nope.
Because you don't want to actually, if someone kicks that broom into a rock, it could potentially move it. John DeYoung very aptly just shoved that broom a little out of the way.
Yeah, when I did my officials clinic, that's the one thing that you do not want to do.
Never do it, right? Never put your broom in the ice.
The least amount of things in the house when you do a measure, the better.
Sure.
So it's fine to do it, but if you want to physically stand on the house to prevent any movement, you can do that as well. But any type of loose things, it's the better way.
So, Rob, in today's 8 a.m. game on sheet 2, they had an incident like that. I think Lee Walker's team, they were down by 3. They had hammer in the final end. They had a rock in play. They had a rock that might have been a biter, and Lee was able to throw, the clear counter for 2. They were going to measure that third rock, but after 30 seconds, one of the leads from the other team walked over and said, "Oh, we're clearing rocks," kicked the rock away, and immediately said, "Oh, no."
And after a measure,
Looks like yellow.
Veltri got his single, which still is good. I mean, you have a 2-point lead. Now you've passed the halfway point for that. It might not have been what you were hoping for. Getting that multiple would have been nice,
Sure.
especially with that house. But I mean, you're still up too. Starting the 5th end. I mean, that's pretty nice to be in right now.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been playing. Anyone in a final right now is on their 6th game of the weekend, I think.
Quite possibly.
So yeah, I mean, maybe in the event they're only in their 5th, but yeah, everybody's a little tired. So really, any end you can just take one. I'm with you. I mean, stack my one.
I've been standing here talking for the past 4 minutes, and 4 hours, and I'm exhausted. I can't imagine how they are out there.
Yeah, Rob is actually standing behind me. Everyone.
Yeah.
He seems light on his feet. He's vibrant, energetic. I am sitting in a chair, just half collapsed.
Listen, you actually were throwing rocks. I don't Bonsqueal anymore, so I didn't curl. So apparently, I take it too seriously.
I'm told I'm a little the same way, Rob. Anyone that shared the ice with me knows that I can get a little steely out there as far as
Please comment in the chat room if anybody would like John Gephardt and Robert Young to be a front end for you. I can tell you right now, wellspring of energy from sweepers if you have us as front enders.
Well, I'll tell you too, we would have opinions. We would have opinions vocally on all shots at all times.
I will say, let's just remember that wonderful time at Broomstones.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. I loved it.
Oh yes. You were early in your career, Rob.
Yeah.
I think I remember this vividly. I tried to give you a piece of advice that I give to everyone, but you are a competitor. You're a guy that was playing, as a new curler many nights a week.
Do you remember that? You remember when I thought I was amazing and I really wasn't?
Well, I think the one of Broom's you're thinking about was advice that I give all players is if you have a rock of either color that's behind tee. What we all do is, we all try to make a standard call, so we put our target broom on the tee line.
Yep.
Because if you step up and down the line, you end up with different angles. But if you do have a rock behind you, I find that the best thing to do is to take 2 or 3 big steps back. Always have the entire full house in front of you, so you're not guessing on a line on a weird plan B or C or D. And I think I made some kind of comment to you in like the 3rd end, Rob. You were vicing for our team, I was seconding, and I said, Rob, maybe you could take a couple steps back and always make sure you can see the rock behind you. And you were like, I memorized where it was, John.
And me being the tryhard, sat there thinking, well, the people on the Canadian pro circuit's doing it. I'm going to do it too.
Yes.
Because we all know how great that translates when you are a new curler and you see things in the Canadian curling, and you're like, I can do that too.
Oh yeah, you call every shot like TV shot.
Of course.
But I wouldn't say relish it, but I acknowledge it. When you're vicing against somebody who steps all the way in the house, or even worse, as a shot comes in, they just turn 90 degrees, so that they're essentially, they're looking sideways at the house, and you can never call a line that way.
Yep.
You can think you can call a line that way, but you're gonna miss 10% of shots over the year.
So basically, what I'm hearing is John Gephardt, absolutely right.
Oh no, I don't know about that.
Great advice giver, and wants to make sure that everyone just performs their best. And you know what? For that, I agree. I appreciate you that much more there, John Gephardt.
Well, I know that your approach to the game is very similar to mine, Rob. Yeah. We want to make the maximum value at every single shot. And I'm a firm believer that curling is a sport where, I think I counted it up, there's like 18 variables that go into a given shot.
Yep.
And if you could just improve 2 or 3%, and I'm talking like you upgrade a C- into a B, or like a B+, maybe once a game. That over a long enough timeline, you play 100 games a year, like you and I probably do, you might win 2 more games.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm driving over here, I'm traveling, I'm getting a hotel. Like, let's try to win. Let's never leave any food on the table.
Exactly. And speaking of driving all the way for curling, let's go ahead and take a look here at Sheet 2.
Yep.
Sheet 2, we're now in the middle of our 5th end here, Grech versus Sullivan. The setup, it's looking a little familiar here for Neil.
It is.
He's seeing that one counter from Grech, how to get it there. At least there's a lot less in front here that's an easy hit. And
or clear, that'd be fine.
It clear's fine too, but Jeff's got to be wondering if he does the promote, he's sitting 3 yellows. With a possible, you hit nose.
Yeah.
You got 3 yellow and a guarded situation. How are you going to get after that?
That could be rough.
Rocks?
Yeah. You're right. The position of the thrown rock is really going to be big here if you do have to make.
So getting the run back's fine. It's just what are you going to do with the remainder? That's the problem.
How is this looking?
So it's over curling.
Are they going to get a weird kiss and a redirect?
No, I think it's going after. It just over curled. This actually is not the best situation here for Neil, because that is going to have to be a perfect run back, because even if you can get through that port,
sure,
you might be nose, but you've just given yourself an opportunity to get a center line guard. Just makes things worse.
Yeah, I mean, and I almost wonder, Rob, I mean, you do increase the points of contact you can afford to make now that your own stone is above their stone.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you can go after it for 2, but the goal here is to minimize how many rocks you have to go after for that.
Sure.
Hey, Patty Goborn coming over here, just because he won an event, he wants to think that he knows like telling us the goal is actually to win the game. I don't know about that. That's some controversial.
Goal is to win the game and not make any enemies.
There you go.
Because that'll follow you.
Hey, wait, that's a problem for me. So
Rob, I had an interesting call today. Did you see how the outcome of my first game this morning?
I was asleep.
Okay.
No, I lied. I was actually at the office. I'm preparing for Tuesday, so I went to the office at 6 a.m.
Oh my gosh!
Just to try to get some things done so I could be here.
That sounds terrible, but thank you for
it is terrible,
your dedication.
But I wanted to come here and watch Jeff and Gennaro play.
Nice.
And then I stayed on because, hey, I've got the energy to talk.
That's
and
right.
You're going to let me talk, so I'll talk.
Oh, I was more than happy when you were asking me if the microphones were on, and when you said you were looking to maybe join me on the mic, I said if you would love to commentate our game, that would thrill me. So I'm very glad you stuck on.
Oh, I'm here to entertain. But anyway.
But yes, I had an interesting decision as a Vice. The opposing Vice on literally the last shot of the game. Happened to sweep 2 or 3 feet before the tee line out of just zeal for the game. Their skip was look at this shot! Oh my gosh, that is a dagger on sheet 2.
That was I was waiting for. I was wanting to see if you made contact with that.
Wow.
If it was going to stick around or not. That was just exactly what Neil needed. And now Jeff is going after that center line to try to fix the damage. He can nose hit this, but the nose hit's just going to pop the yellow and it'll run it into the back.
Yeah.
So
I almost like the clear a little better.
The clear is the better shot. And if you're wide, you've got a chance at the yellow in the back.
Yeah.
But get the clearance.
This is the exact same shot where I would say, don't step sideways, Jeff. View your full angles.
Yeah.
That's great, though, especially not taking his own red off the back there. Well, you're right, though. The red's not really in play at the moment. It is still 3 yellow from what we can see.
Yep. So taking a look over to our A event final, which has been typically an open game.
It's heck of a draw from yellow there.
But it's really nice. The one thing that at the club level that we typically see, but we don't really see like full execution on until we see like the higher caliber teams or the more veteran teams, seeing the ability to use those corner guards. People throw up the corner guards, but being able to work with them. In this case, utilizing your opponent's corner guard in a way that it's well placed, it's top 8. You do a pick out, you can just go after it again. And here's what Don's doing, going after that yellow rock, trying to pass behind those guards.
Rob, that's probably my second strongest opinion in curling club strategy.
Jeff Gebhardt's got opinions let's listen to this one.
Yeah, so just the idea of it. So, your classic strategy is, the first rock is obviously coming from the team that wants to steal. They try to throw a center guard. Sometimes their rock will drift into top 8, top 4, center, roughly, because they're throwing that line. I can't stand when the answer from the Hammer team with their first rock is, let's throw up a corner guard. Because here's a couple things that happen, Rob. If your lead is a little bit wide or a little bit light, you're now clogging your own forefoot. And what is the third rock at the end going to be? Always another guard.
Yeah.
And now your opposition who's trying to steal has 2 guards that are probably somewhere in the forefoot, probably at least 1 or 2 of them is atop their stone. And now you've basically agreed to chase with your own hammer that I'm going to have to spend 2, 3, 4, 5 rocks just clearing the center, so I have 1 chance at 1 point with my hammer.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Drives me crazy.
That's the difference between you and I. Is like if I have somebody who slips into the house on the center line, and I have hammer on my first rock, you better believe I'm throwing the corner guard.
Really? But do you get enough value of that corner guard versus addressing that stone?
That
in the
third,
center?
You're right. That third shot will be a center line guard.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I've got 6 rocks to get rid of everything, and the best part about getting rid of everything is I can flop behind those corner guards. That's the whole point of those corner guards, is to be catching those hits and rolls. So you're spending that time popping out all the rocks off the center line, Where's your shot rock going to go? Behind those corner guards. That's the purpose of those. So you
Well,
start
that's the tough part. As long as you're attacking rocks from your opponent that have drifted into the house to begin with as
exactly.
guards.
So you pop a centerline guard.
Yeah.
They throw the centerline guard again, and
You
if
have to hope
they're-
it goes in, though.
But you never. But that's the thing, that you're
Yeah.
always playing to those outs, and the corner guards are designed there to play to those outs. And I'm a firm believer of think 3 steps ahead, which
Sure.
is why I think 9-ball. If anyone wants to do
Oh,
some
okay.
off-season,
There you
if
go.
anybody wants to do some off-season training, go to a pool hall and
Big-
just play 9-ball, because 9-ball teaches you how to think 3 shots ahead.
On sheet 2, we've got a really important rock here from Jeff. I think they might have held that too far. Did they get the back one? They got the back one. Actually got a forward uphill roll.
Almost an around the horn.
That's actually great. I mean, if I'm right, I'm thrilled with the outcome of this. It
Well,
doesn't matter if I'm sitting first or second shot. I would,
Jeff's-
of course, love to be second shot. But
Jeff right now
it's
is
fine.
also hammer.
Yeah.
So he's got the lead. Scoreboard dictates he just needed 1 to outcount something.
Yeah.
So right now, it's what? It looks like it's 1, possibly 2. Neil just needs to tap for a possible 3, which is fine.
Sure.
But the problem with the tap here is simply going to be, if you leave that your shooter exposed, Jeff is just going to go and attack it.
So if you're Neil and you believe that, at least I would be happy to measure, et cetera, would you just close this port? Would you be happy to try to steal 2?
Oh, I can't imagine what Neil goes through, because I'm an aggressive player. I'm always about pressure. So
Okay.
if I was Neil, my first thing would be I would want to do a draw and just push and see if I can at least get to the nose. Because if
There
I can get to the nose
Yeah.
and maybe push my yellow into the red,
Then you could potentially be sitting 4.
yeah. And
I
just
agree with that.
makes things a little bit more complicated. And if we
Plus,
do,
yeah, plus your shooter is going to at least be in the way of their bailout draw.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you on this, Rob. I think I would do the same.
let's take a look here at sheet number 1 right now. Don Baird is, it looks like he's just sitting 1.
Yep.
No, not sitting 1. He is going up against 2 counters. He's got 1 in the back, so he's sitting 3rd shot. But there's enough of this really nice out-turn side stagger guard situation where he can draw behind, and if he can draw top 4,
Yeah.
Veltry's going to have to come down and just out-count that with a draw. So
Right. You could certainly cut the rings, really. I mean, as long as Don's rock is behind cover, the odds of Veltry being able to also cut around and have enough weight to knock that rock out is pretty slim.
And you never want to give Don Baird in the middle of a game once he figures out how his stick curling's going. You never want to give him an opportunity to draw those finesse shots, because he is a surgeon with that stick. So
I would say, yeah, and let's look again at sheet 2 here, Rob. I think this is a huge rock of the end for Sullivan.
Yeah.
I feel like he might have just pulled that out a little bit. I think that rock might be wide.
it feels like it's a little wide. However, there are some benefits. If he's wide with enough weight, he can actually clip off that yellow on
Yep.
the far right.
Oh,
and
that's
get
true.
Behind. So he gives himself options, which is always fun to see.
Oh, this
But
actually is
it's
gonna work
looking
out.
really good. It's
If they
curling a
can
lot
hold
right
it-
now.
if
but
they
it's-
can hold it.
He's got it on the nose. Oh, it's crossing just a face. It's a hair.
Still fine, though. I mean, you're closing that draw path off considerably.
Yeah, and if you take a look there, looking at the angles here, there's no easy nose hit to get rid of that. So
So I think that yellow rock, I think the shooter that arrived on sheet 2 just now is probably 3rd shot or fourth shot. I don't think it's any better than the 2 in the back.
It's definitely.
back
I would definitely want to measure 2 or 3, 4.
Sure.
Don Baird with the draw looks real warm on that, but it might stick around for counter. It is now.
That's acceptable, though.
It's second shot buried.
You're basically guaranteeing that rock on the right probably doesn't count at the end of the end.
Right, and Baird is is with hammer, so Veltry's going to want to
Close it up.
close it up. I think personally the smart move is full 8, but air to the light side, because you do not want to overcook it and then give something easy for a single. I mean,
What do you think we're seeing over on sheet 2? Do you think that Jeff's call here is
It's
a
gotta be the hit and
draw
roll.
down? Or do you think they... Yeah, I mean, I would probably call the hit and roll. I don't hate the draw down, just to make sure that I'm not in too much trouble. I've got a 5-point lead.
Jeff
If I
and
can
Jeff and I
shrink
have played
this-
for years, and my instinct is hit and roll. So I would put money that Jeff's doing the exact same thing.
This could be a broom for either, though, couldn't it?
It could be a broom for either, and that's what's confusing me.
You
so.
could certainly come and just sit angle on shot rock and say, hey, to your opponent, like, sure, you want to make a tap up perfectly for 2? That's fine. I'll still be up by
And we
2.
have the traditional skips standoff where neither skip wants to throw their rock because the other one is also in the hack. So
That means some loud teams in the finals, which I'm okay with.
Jeff is deferring to allow Slacks on sheet 1 to throw his rock first. Slacks, of course, needing to draw a top 8. If he's a little hot and he draws down to the back red, that's fine too. And
Yep.
Jeff's off with his. That's looking like control up weight.
I think we're going to get the in-off, like you
It
said.
might be the in-off, but the question is going to be what's going to happen to that second shot if he gets and creens into that yellow. It's looking tight. It's looking tight.
That looks great.
He gets the contact,
Oh,
but he still only
no.
gives up the 1, possibly the 2.
I think it's 2. Well, actually, no.
Actually,
Originally I thought 1.
His,
so yeah.
his object rock, that might actually be the second shot right now.
Yeah, those are definitely a pile of measures.
Yeah, but
I
it's
don't think our
not.
cameras
We're
are
still not
perfect.
completely out of it because Neil's got his last one. But the question is going to be,
Yeah, if
can
you're Neil
Neil
Sullivan,
get
what do you
3?
like here?
Can he get 3? There is a shot for 3 here.
Yeah, the little skinny in-off.
No,
I think you throw it.
Correction. There's a shot here for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a shot here for 4. You knows it. You've at least got your 3.
Yep. I don't
But-
think you jam on the right side either on sheet 2. I think that yellow rock that's, it might get close, but I don't think the contact would necessarily jam it.
And looking at sheet 1, we got that draw. Neil Slacks put it nicely in top 4, and Don Baird trying to outdraw it only gives up the steal of 1.
Okay.
So Veltri takes the steal of 1, is up 6-3 in the A event final.
So after 5 ends too. So.
After 5 ends, not.
But I mean, hey, my team was up as well, Rob. We were up by I think 3. We get up a 5 in the 5th end. So it's still anybody's ball game with a bunch of ends left.
I agree. Taking a look over here, Sullivan. Here's the thing, though. Sullivan needs a good, solid crooked number here.
A solid crooked number. I like it.
Well, I mean, like he's got a possibility of 2 and 3 if he can get rid of that back
Sure.
red. Well, I mean, I feel like we're paying a lot of attention to sheet 2, but to be quite honest with you, sheet 1's been a relatively open game, which is good. There's a lot of great execution on those hits. Sheet 2, you're going to get a cluster from Neil Sullivan, so it's always a great puzzle.
Right.
Watching
yeah.
teams go up against him to figure out not only what's my 3 steps ahead, but how do I get Neil Sullivan not to Neil Sullivan you?
My first game of competitive curling, Rob, when I was first drafted up as a sub on our competitive Monday nights, was against Evo. And
My team!
oh my gosh. And basically I was asked by Mark Mooney, hey, okay, we need to just come and draw down 2 this week and bump it 2 inches but not 5 and don't be short.
Hey.
And then I watch people make that shot 11 times over.
And I just want to go ahead and mention, we got
This
B
is
event
nice
winners.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Just taking a look at the shot right quick. Nice nose hit. The question is going to be, is it for 2 or is it for 3?
Today's the best I've ever seen you
Right
play.
now, we've got B event winners. The entire team Goborn right here. The Grzybowskis are heading out. I will say MVP of the B event was Kathy Grzybowski.
Yes.
Who was and I'm not joking when I say this, was a beast on the sweep.
Oh my gosh.
Trusted all the way through. So well done on the sweep,
Our
Kathy.
front
Nice
end
work.
between Kathy and Bill set us up in so
Bill
many ends,
had
Rob.
some work that he needed to do. Kathy really
Yeah.
had to put extra work involved there.
Really unbelievable work.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I'm a commentator. I'm meant to be honest here, Mr. Grzybowski. Plus, I just want to keep saying your last name. All right, so we're waiting for the measure on sheet 3.
And I think we're measuring for third
We're
stone?
measuring for third stone right
Yeah.
now. Taking a look at sheet 1, we're open. Just studying up for the 6th end now. High guard on 1. Do not recall what the condition was on sheet 2, if it was a hog or if it was a through. But the thing I will say is that never count Don Baird out. 6-3. Yeah, I think Don likes kind of being from behind.
Leaving it alone, Rob.
What? He
does.
He does. I will say one thing I would like to point out, John Gephardt, before you joined. Would it be fair to say that the vice on Jeff Greck's team, Paul,
Yes.
best dressed on Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Oh,
I
those
mean,
pants are extremely dapper.
no one really did the Viking theme on Sunday, which is fine. But oh, good Lord, somebody definitely wanted to go golfing at Hilton Head, South Carolina,
And
with
he's
that
got the
ensemble.
matching hat, too, that matches both
It's
the
so great,
pants and the shirt.
so muted, so understated, and yet you can see him from space.
I mean, I've got the chartreuse watch band, so it kind of lets the world... Oh, look at
All
this. They've
right.
actually rolled the rock into the center after the measure, letting us know in the peanut gallery.
So it was only Neil Sullivan getting a nose hit for a deuce, a good deuce at that.
Yeah.
Not to take away from an opportunity for 3 or 4, but getting a deuce right now with the way that the game has been going is probably what he needed to get some momentum going.
Right.
So, Team Grec still up by 2 going into the 6th end. And we will see if that decision to not go for that double in the back hurts or helps Neil moving forward.
Yeah, I think anytime you take the point, I mean, that wasn't an easy one, right?
No.
Because you had to throw enough weight to clear that back
No,
one off.
I mean, like, honestly, at the same time, you're giving yourself an opportunity to give to at least breathe a little bit. You
Yeah.
make a miss off of that, you're just like still behind the 8 ball, 4 ends in a row.
And Rob, we are playing on like April ice here at Plainfield. We don't have the crazy jack stands underneath our floor anymore as of about 4 or 5
God.
years ago.
For those of you who are new to curling or new to Plainfield, we've got a relatively new floor. And spring ice, back when I started, back when John Gephardt was probably a third or fourth year,
Yep.
The jacked up floor, and we do mean that quite literally.
Yes, rusty jack stands from the 60s.
Let's just
Someone
say
bear
that
earth?
serpentines from arena clubs had nothing on us in April.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what would happen, Rob, is the sunlight would hit our exterior walls. The heat would travel downward, thaw the permafrost on the outside of both sheets, and that would allow those jack stands that were rusty and never going to move. Those would dip a little bit, and we would just get a quite the rise in the line between the two sheets. So yeah, you would have negative handles and like maybe a foot of curl against it on one side, and you would have anywhere from like 8 to 12 feet of curl on the other side.
I will say
It gave it a lot of home advantage.
Oh yeah. Well, I always loved it when people from not Plainfield keeps forgetting when they came down to visit. Oh yeah, Plainfield does this.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get so mad, but they don't get mad at us. They get mad at themselves because they did know better.
Well, I was a skip back then of fellow beginners, and I would try to do a little subterfuge my first time or second time in the squeal, and I would say, you know what? I'm going to hold out different hands for the turn, but it's always going to be against the wall.
Serpentine.
Yeah.
Serpentine.
So I Skip would basically put down the same broom as me, put up the same hand, the subterfuged hand, and then his rock would end up like 8 feet different, and they would just scratch their heads. What is going on?
Also, side note, well, nice use of the word subterfuge.
Oh, thank
I mean,
you.
like, really nicely done.
And serpentine on yourself.
Hey, you know what? One does, one can.
Yeah.
You know, broadcasting team, dropping those GRE words.
That's right.
All right.
I love the guards here on sheet 2 from Sullivan. I mean, they're basically saying you're going to
if
have
I was
to spend
Jeff,
big
though, I'd
rocks.
like them a lot more than Neil.
Oh, and you're going to get a little clip
Jeff,
here too.
You're going to get a clip, which he can still use those staggered guards later. Those staggered guards, I like them more if I was Jeff than if I was Neil.
Okay. Even with hammer.
It's from my perspective,
Or just against Neil, that's what you're saying.
momentum right now.
Okay.
Like if I was Jeff, I'd be pretty thrilled with the way that my second's been throwing because Lauren, you can really kind of give her anything right now. She's been throwing really, I think in my opinion, really well. And taking a look on sheet 1, great nose hit off of off the counter for Team Baird. Who was that just threw that? I believe that was Scott. Was that Scott? Or no, I think that was. No, that was Scott. Scott throwing a really nice nose hit, squeaking by that second yellow. So Baird is sitting 1-3, and John DeYoung being asked to get rid of that red counter. While we take a look over here at sheet 2, clipping the guard again.
That was a draw attempt, but it was a little hot, a little narrow.
Yeah. See, this is what I like about sheet 2 at this time is when it gets halfway through, you never really want to trust the intern curl.
Yeah.
Coming towards the warm room because that thing, once a curl happens, it hooks.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's the game, right? Especially late in the season like this is, I'd pretty much any time I'm curling, I'd rather get by the guard, even if my rock ends up in the back 8 because we overswept it, versus just sit and wait and try to paper it every single time because you're just gonna get burned, especially late.
All right, so we got a clearance attempt by Lauren. She got contact on the object rock, but unfortunately. A little bit of a bad line there, and it causes the jam in the red, losing the red, and now Neil Sullivan's got to be like chomping at the bit for
thrilled.
a real good, steal end here.
I guess for Greg though, at least they didn't leave the shooter as an additional guard, so they didn't just trade. And losing that red rock on the right side on sheet 2 is unfortunate.
Speaking of losing that sheet 1 rock, there was some real interesting motion on that one where. Yeah. Now you got Slack sitting 2 on a slight miscalculation on the hit. Spread some things out on Baird's side that did not want to happen. So it's definitely switching over on Yellow's advantage on both houses right now.
What are you throwing on sheet 1 right now? If you're at Veltri up by 3, it's an open house.
I'm splitting the house.
You're just going T-line on their side?
I would split and T. Well, I mean, like with that line, I think it's probably like on the center line. But for me personally, I would absolutely split the house.
I'm with you on that.
Because I'd rather trade the hits and splits than I would anything else right now. So I would be sitting in my dream world, I'd be sitting T line, edge of 8,
On the left side.
on the left side. Yeah.
I agree. Looking from the top-down view, which is where most of my commentary comes from.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know if that helps him, though.
Well,
you like the center guard?
I think it's not bad when
With
you
Hammer?
when you think about your scoreboard. I mean, what's Baird going to do? All the
gonna
actions
go
back to
top
the T line.
forward. Yeah.
It's going to go T line behind. He's going to go T line behind the guard. Yeah, but I mean, it's still you're favored yourself because you're sitting the back two.
Yeah.
Don is smart enough not to go after those two.
Oh,
you
no.
need to get action in the front of that T line. So Ed's like, I got 2 counters. I'll make Don do all the work right now. Speaking of doing all the work right now, let's take a look over at sheet 2.
Sure.
Linda Carubia in the house. I believe this is for Linda's first. This is Linda's second, I believe.
No, first rock.
Oh,
So this
first
is
rock. Thank you.
Yellow 5.
Oh, it is 2 behind there.
Yes.
There you go. All right, and this is again. Talk about doing all the work. Neil is doing everything he can to make Jeff really kind of burn some rocks here. Like try to minimize how many reds are going to be in play. Try to eat up and go for that steal. The steal's on the board for Neil.
I think
for sure.
the call here was a promote on their rock on the 4-foot,
I
which
think
they're
it's-
close to. And even if they click it a little bit behind, they're still behind their own guard. That's nice.
that's a great
I'm
result.
really happy with that.
I wonder if the call was a nose promote, but the slash promote's
Yes.
even better. And
Right, because you roll your shooter over to block that center line, and Jeff is just right out of the gate, not thinking about it. I have hammer. I'm not going to allow this rock to sit here.
I do wonder though if this is a chase feel rather than it is an actual 3 steps ahead feel.
It could be.
Because I just hope that Jeff is not on the chase right now. Because Jeff on the chase, this late in the game, you have to hope that.
I like this call from Jeff a lot, though.
I do
I've
too.
got 4 rocks left. Let's see if I can get rid of this one. Oh, that's a tough miss, though.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
So if you're Neil, are you going to guard on sheet 2, or are you going to guard
No.
from the overhead? Are you going to guard the left side, or are you going to put another one in?
To be honest with you, I mean,
he's gonna
he's
cover
going to
the
go for the
right.
guard. He's going to cover the guard. If it was me, I only have 1 rock above the T line.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind coming in from the left, from the other side that Neil's
coming in from the out turn.
Yeah.
Getting behind that red rock.
Yep. And
I
even if
mean-
I'm short, then I close the other 4-foot.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that, because then I'm basically saying to Jeff, your hammers, all your rocks have to be perfect from here on out.
So taking a look over at sheet 1, Veltri throwing his first. Don Baird sitting 1 in the back.
A really nice one.
A really nice one at that. So it's going to take it's going to take some time to try to he can pick it, but
It's not worth it.
it's not worth it right now. Veltri's got the lead right now. It looks like it might be an attempt at the freeze, or at least try to stay above it to get the sitting 2.
Oh, look at that sit. I wonder if they expected that to come down to the red. I feel like
Yeah,
that
I think-
slowed down considerably,
Yeah.
quite quickly. And back on sheet 1, we're going to see what Jeff likes to do here.
Sheet
so
2.
Neil, thank you. On sheet 2, it looks like Neil really got a great make, just as a biter to close
Yeah.
that entire side off. And Jeff, I think, is doing the right
I think
thing.
I
got to make a hole for myself.
I think Jeff is on the chase right now.
Yeah. He is. Yeah.
He's got an opportunity with hack hit to come back and get that yellow. That shot yellow
Yeah.
is half buried. So if you threw hack weight at it, you could get at it.
Sure,
and sit
from the right
behind your
side,
guard.
yeah.
So I think this is a chase call right now, and it's a good chase call only because you want to give Neil Sullivan 3 yellow rocks to tap onto. Right now,
And at least you left your shooter there as a possible hammer bailout, and I think that's what Neil looks at. He says, you know what, that's the game that I play. I'm not going to let this rock sit here.
Yep.
I'm going to attack. Now, if I'm Jeff Grack, I'm not too upset about this, because my opponent is throwing into quite a bit of jams, and we'll see what happens. Is Neil rethinking this because of the jams? He's walking back. Let's see what's happening here. We've got our vice coming out. Who are you looking for, Linda? Who are they looking for? Who do you want, Linda?
I hope you tell my fans out there.
Yeah. See what Linda needs. See what Linda needs.
we've been asked by Mark Zempel to let everybody know how hard Mark Zempel's been sweeping.
Oh, yeah.
However, Mark Zempel is the one saying that, and I haven't seen it, so
Yeah. We'll take him on faith, I guess.
I'm glad that one of us will do that.
Yeah. What is this? I'm trying to figure out the potential drama here on sheet 2. Does someone need a beverage? We're still not quite sure what happened on sheet 2, but Neil has walked away to throw his rock. We've got some conversation here on the right. Our vice, Linda Carubia from Neil's team, did walk briefly out and try to look for somebody.
So
Makes me
taking
think
a
they
look
were
at
looking
sheet,
for a coordinator.
taking a
but I
look
don't
at
know.
sheet 1, looks like a good nose, off nose
look
hit.
at the nice roll.
Is gonna be a great
shot
roll.
from
Oh,
Ron.
oh, oh,
Little
oh.
overroll. But not really, not anything I'd call open.
I will say that there is a possible nose hit and stick behind the guard
Sure.
for Veltri. And if Veltri hits it on the high side, it's going to jam into the back red,
Yeah.
which is completely fine because you're still sitting 1, possibly 2.
So here's my question though: Do you attack that red with your with Ed's 8 rock here as the steel team up by 3, or are you trying to draw down to it? I'm guessing from this.
That's
room,
a
this is
good. That's a really good question. However, and the nice thing is, if you draw and you're light, you're kind of like, okay, I'll give you 1 with 3 up, but I don't want to give anybody an opportunity to take 1 from me.
Well, I
so
think they wouldn't even take
hit's
1. I think they're
fine.
sitting 2, so
You-
they
if
would
you-
use hammer to get 3
I
potentially.
I like the freeze. I like pushing it back a little bit.
Yeah.
I
I like to hit 2 if you can
but
make
sitting
it, but
sitting 3 up, I don't know. Like
you don't want to give your opponent 3 here.
No,
and
you
if
don't.
he's short or
the,
he's
the,
wide, that's
the draw
three.
is a nice one. Draw and a little bit of a push is fine as well. Just don't give yourself an opportunity
Yeah.
to get real stuck
Yeah, you
there.
kind of want that redstone to stick around as backing.
I think I understand what Lindy's looking for. Somebody who could help Mark Raymond. I believe he is holding on and getting a napkin for possibly a nosebleed situation.
Oh, okay. Well, look at this shot from Ed Veltre. What a roll.
You say that, I'm looking over here at the Rays, and pops the red.
If you look back over sheet 1, Rob, you remember that if you look at the overhead,
Exactly
the red rock was in like the left side of the button. Ed was able to find it and then get a perfect roll behind cover.
What was the shot weight?
Back 4.
Oh,
back
so it was
6.
just a slight heavy
Yeah.
draw. Okay, that's.
And to get that roll behind cover there
If I was
is just
Don,
a
I mean,
dagger.
here's the thing though. You did give Don Baird an opportunity for 3.
You did, but this shot's got to be absolutely perfect. It's got to
Eh,
have the weight
there-
to
that
be by the
distance-
guard, but
that-
also drive it through.
That distance though between the guard and then the shot rock, that's a hack distance. You just
It
get a
is.
nose hit that. And looking at the sweepers, they're not touching it just yet, but the weight looks like boardish.
Oh,
Is it going to curl enough? It looks like it's wide.
I think he's
He might be wide.
by. He's by.
It's just by.
It's only 1 though.
Well, we say that, but those ones are piling up right
They
now.
are. Yeah, that's 2 straight steals for Veltre. And really, you're just trying to run him out of ends at this point.
Yeah, 7-3 going into the 7th.
If Veltre can even take 1 here,
Yeah.
I mean, I will take the situation of being up by 4, without hammer
Just-
to the last end any day.
Just don't give yourself that level of confidence and like, well, if I just have to do clean things, because we've seen from this Bonsqueal that if
yeah.
your attempt is trying to keep things clean, bad things happen.
Over on sheet 2, we've got the red 7 away.
And I believe-
Greg's first rock with
I
hammer.
believe that was a draw attempt that just was really, really light.
That was very light.
Yeah. So Greg has a problem right now. He's got 3 yellow counters.
Yep.
That back there's a biter right
I think
there.
the biter's on.
The biter is definitely on because I can't see a lick of green, a lick of
Right.
black from this angle. So it's definitely.
I like how to look at the screen as if it was going to be a different angle than the one we can see in front of us, Rob.
That's because you are an amazing human being, John Gephardt. You would do these things.
I used the biter bar in our final today,
I
Rob.
did, and I was so proud of you
it
as
was
an
a bogus
official.
one, but-
As an official, I was really excited by the use of the biter bar.
Oh, thank you. And did you notice that I put it behind the
Yes.
the hack first? That was the important part.
Did you know that Bill Nicholson, you can use the biter bar
Yes.
measurement
Yeah.
for the first 4
Yes.
stones. Was our stone fighting at that time?
No,
or was that a-
it was the 5th. It was your 5th. It was the 5th
Yes,
one.
it was a different rock. Petty Coburn asking for distinction. He had been advised by Bill Nickel after our game that you are allowed to use the biter bar.
As an official, you're
and
allowed.
actually, Rob would know this more. He is an actual trained official.
So you are allowed to do it because it does dictate what the shots are. So
Yes.
if you feel like you have an opportunity for a hit and you need a verification, you can call for verification from the officials at a USCA sanctioned event. So it is allowed, but for some people they choose not to do it because they feel that it is against the spirit of curling.
Oh, okay.
However, at the upper levels, people are very much of the opinion of, can you trust the painted houses or the laid houses?
Yes.
Because I sat there, and now I don't know if you guys could hear me communicating this, but you trust the pin, you don't trust the placement of the house.
Yes.
So because the pin could always be that extra millimeter closer than you think
And
with
we've all
the
seen it.
layout.
We've all seen the pin. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a 1/4 inch northeast.
Yeah, so you definitely want to trust the pin more than anything else. And if it changes your shot call, if you're
Yep.
allowed to take the hit, you can get a biter bar to confirm that you can get the hit or not.
I like that. No, I was asked.
Remember never to cross the stream.
Never cross the streams. Always prefer the Ghostbusters rule of thumb here. I like it.
Our hammer on sheet 2 is underway.
Jeff Grech just needs to make sure he gets to full 4. and needs full forward because he is sitting against 5 right now.
Yeah, this is the game.
And Jeff right now is probably feeling a little shaken by that last draw attempt. So sweepers are on it.
Oh,
Sweepers
that was short.
I don't think it's short. I don't think it's in. I think it's in there. They're just a little concerned from the
okay.
last one. I think we're good right on pin.
Oh, that's
Are we
great.
good on pin? Wait, are we good on pin?
It doesn't. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. What a shot!
That is a
Oh,
great
Jeff,
draw.
what a shot.
Great pressure draw for 1.
Great call from the sweepers too.
So John Gephardt's going to do it this time
Absolutely.
because I've been doing it this entire time, and I cannot really don't want to cross over him.
I don't mind you reaching over me.
So
I'm always okay with
okay,
that.
well, John Gephardt, I believe that you have a partner, so I can't really say anything like that.
Oh, that's okay.
But I will say both sheets 6-3,
Yeah.
6-3 and 7.
So Rob, I have a question for you.
Oh, another question. I'm liking this.
It's an official rules question.
Ooh, cool. Let's see if I
Of which
remember.
I also very much enjoy. And so they have changed quite a few rules in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yep.
I was asked by a sweeper today, not in the context of the game, but after the fact in the war room. They said, am I allowed to sweep my rock? If we throw it, am I allowed to sweep my rock behind tee, or is that only the vice and skip? And I said, well, when you are in ownership of the house on a rock that your team is delivering, you are always allowed to sweep your own stones. You still have to just be limited by the 1 sweeper behind tee line rule. The real question that I then proffered to them is the opposing team, as far as their counter sweep. Is it still that the designated vice and skip by definition are allowed to counter sweep,
Yep.
or is it those that are currently designated to control the house? So
if you are a position player
yes,
who at some point is in command of the house,
yes.
you are the only designated defensive sweeper.
If you've been designated, right? So,
If you've
so
been
let me ask you
designated.
this. So my skip is on a slider, right? So he's not ready to counter sweep. I'm a vice, but I have to hit the restroom very quickly. If I say to my second, come over here, you're on counter sweep, it's your house.
If
My
you've
understanding is
designated
that's okay.
if you've designated them as the person who is in control of the house, if they are the one holding the broom,
Yes.
they are in control of the house. So the second is elevated to that position because you have to, the vice has to be off.
Are they allowed to counter sweep if
They
I designate the house?
They
to them?
are because they are in control of the house.
Good. That's what I thought the rule was. I feel like that's the best rule for Spirit of
Yes.
Curling, and I think that has changed since I've started curling.
It's been more addressed because when you see beast sweepers,
Yes.
people that you and I
Oh,
have
yeah.
always wanted to be
oh
like.
yeah, those that we pattern ourselves after.
Yeah, you don't want a front ender to have control of the defensive sweep because, I mean, there's a little bit more of an advantage
Yep.
to that. So it is if you are in control, if you are a position player in control of a house at any point, you are the only one that's allowed to do the defensive sweep.
I like that. That's a good rule.
I agree.
I also like that within our curling lifetime, Rob here, which is fairly limited, they did now allow counter sweeping, or they allow plow sweeping, because there was just no way to adjudicate whether or not someone is dumping junk in front of the
Yeah.
rock. And how would you ever rule that in the spirit of play?
Yeah.
You're not going to be in the 7th end of a game at any
Yeah.
level and be like, well, I think you lifted your brush and you might have put a piece of dust there.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen. Have you ever seen somebody plow and dump on purpose?
I have not seen that, but I will say the one thing I have seen, and I really hate to say this because it might
No
seem like
names
it's a dig.
named.
It might
Yeah.
seem like a dig at juniors, but I've seen it more at junior level than anything, where people will smack the path of the rock in front.
Oh.
And it's something where people will be like, technically, there's no rule against it, but it's also against the spirit of curling.
Sure.
But I've not seen anybody intentionally try to dump or like shake in front,
Right.
unless it's a jest and like they're up there like losing 12
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Having
You do
some
the
fun like
funny
that,
little
but
rock
I've not
kick
seen
on a
I've
short
not seen
rock.
anyone intentionally decorate in front, but I have seen the slaps in front to try. So I guess,
Oh.
but like again, that's more.
Right,
Of I've seen it with
potentially intentional.
juniors, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it is a wisdom kind of thing where it's like just because there's no rule against it.
Yeah. That's not what we
That's
do here.
not
who
that's
we
not
are.
our sport.
So I had to apply the spirit of curling in, like I was saying earlier, on the last shot of my first game today. The opposing vice happened to sweep about 2-3 feet before tee line, and it was immediately, but it was a potential factor in the outcome.
Yeah.
We were up by 1. It was our hammer. We had a hit and roll. And so I asked the opposing skip, I said, hey, we have the ability to come inside and see the replay. I would feel more comfortable as the quote-unquote offended player to look at it rather than making the decision, which I don't want to make in...
I have
yeah.
some bad news for you.
Yeah, I guess I'm not allowed to do that
There
in competitive
there
play.
is no VAR in curling. And the thing is, if you have a system, and this is something that I think everyone needs to know
Sure.
at any club, if you are going to allow the VAR,
Yep.
the video instant replay or whatever, that needs to be addressed and agreed upon by the board,
Yes.
because that can get overly
Right.
litigious.
Sure.
So there is no VAR, and if you were to threaten that, that actually is as much against the spirit of curling than the actual violation.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's not a rule that was agreed upon. It's not a thing that's allowed. Now, if a board wants to say we will allow VAR, I hope you enjoy finding referees,
Right.
regardless
you're
of the
all gonna
level
have
of
to-
curling, because
yeah,
it's
you're
going to
gonna
get
bring
really
your
bad.
Cameras are dead center over,
Yep.
the pins, which good luck based on the beams of your particular
But this
location.
is, again, the reason why I love our sport is that it is a game of gentlemen, played
Yep.
by gentlemen, not to genderize
Yes,
anything,
yes.
whatever. But,
The sportsmanship.
I'm a rugby player, so we always call rugby a game of hooligans played by gentlemen.
Nice.
Curling is a game of gentlemen played by gentlemen.
Are you still a rugby player, Rob?
Not anymore, because I don't want to jeopardize anything.
Don't blame you.
I love rugby. I love rugby more than American football, but I don't want to risk curling. So, all right, now that we've kind of talked your ear off, let's
Yes.
take a look at the last half of these seventh ends here.
On sheet one, we briefly had a blanked house. Don Bayer was able to take Ed Veltry's only stone out. We're going to see a little more of that. We're going to see one yellow rated play.
Oh.
Look at the jam there. Interesting.
That is a very interesting jam situation right now, because Don Baird, what's really great about this house for Don is that if you just heavy draw this and you just
Sure.
push that yellow back, now you're sitting 2. You have an opportunity. Ed will have an opportunity to hit and roll off of that back one, but also, do you play
Do you
back
attack
tee?
the back? Yeah.
Yeah, or do you want to maintain control of the front first and then have them chase the back?
And I think that's an easier question if that one singular red guard wasn't over top of your opposing stone. If you're done,
Yeah.
that you could say, okay, with my hammer, I can attack this later.
And it looks like with the way it's
That's got a
positioned,
lot of weight.
he's got a lot of weight. So I think that was the plan to start with. And there's that extra curl.
Yep.
He's going to get a little
Oh,
nibble,
look at
but
that,
not
not
enough. But it's
And
now
gonna
sitting.
roll to the back.
It's sitting 1-ish. Let's take a look at sheet number 2 right now. Ed's Neil Sullivan is sitting 1, locked on to Jeff's second, and Jeff is sitting 2 and 3, and 4. So it's Vice's stones right now for Jeff.
What do you like here? What would be your ideal shot on sheet 2?
It's got to be enough weight to unlock the back red off the yellow and
Okay.
just give some separation.
As red.
The idea is the right idea with the weight, but it just needed a little bit more line.
I'd be okay anywhere in that line too. I mean, I'm up by 3. I would be okay with where Neil's putting his broom now, or even if I'm just like high, even if I'm in the top 12 foot, I would give up 1, and then I would at least know hey, maximum damage if that's the case.
I want to clarify
That'd be
something
okay.
right quick right now. Are you referring to that from the yellow has lead or red has lead?
Red has lead. If I'm Jeff, I'm not too sad if I end up just closing this house down and giving up 1.
If I give up 1 or if I give up 2, the problem with that is that if you have a tendency to give up 1 or give up 2
Sure.
going into the last half, the last end, there is a psychological momentum thing to think about.
Oh yeah.
And
you're right. I
unless
mean, you
unless
could still
everybody
yeah.
unless everybody's on board with the idea of we're just going to do this and we're going to bounce back, and that's the hard part with club curling versus competitive curling, is that club curling you don't really talk to each other after like I'm going to allow the 1,
Yeah.
and we all are on the same page, because club curling's all fun, but when you do competitive, and John and I have done club playdowns,
Yep.
we've done these events before where we know we can get together and talk between ends and figure out, well, what's our benefit, what's
Right.
not.
And between games and say, hey, are we a team when we're up by 2 in the 5th end? What is our general idea?
And curling is definitely such a mental game where you
Yes.
don't want to put yourself in a position going, well, I was going to do this, and not everybody was on board.
Yeah.
So looking now at Joe throwing Vice Rocks now for
I'd
Jeff.
be happy to just freeze on top of that yellow.
The freeze on the yellow is the best shot. I also like the idea of dislodging that back red to give yourself some favorability, but ideal right now, Jeff is saying, I want top 4, give me top 4.
Oh, it's light,
Passes the
but-
guard, which is
No, it's
great.
okay.
The sweepers are going to drag
Stay
it,
on
and I
it.
really like it if you can get to pin. If you can get to pin.
Off. Great.
Right covering pin, and also dislodges that back red, so that's looking really good. Neil's got a shot to try to take control of the top button, or there's
Oh.
that slash that Neil loves to go after if you give him the opportunity. The problem with that slash is going to be that you are going to jam your red, and you're going to keep the other red in play as well. So the yellow is going to sit wide open.
Sure.
But I'm okay with
I like this
giving
call. I
Laura,
mean, I'm down 3, and I need to figure out a way to steal. I like this.
giving Linda this opportunity, I think, is the right call. And
Yeah.
taking over here at sheet 1,
We're still in the back of the house.
we're still in the back of the house. Veltry sitting 1, maybe 1 and 2. I don't know what that situation looked like, but it's looked like we're playing back of the house game.
Linda, unfortunately,
Linda
I think she
clipped
was
the
a
guard.
little tight.
Yeah. Well, I think coming off that line, I think she was probably maybe a mishandle because I thought it was coming in out turn.
I thought so too.
And the angle looked in turn to me, so.
Looks like
Do you find it odd that we haven't had anybody make a comment in the chat room? So does it mean that we're like, are we talking about things correctly? Are like people are agreeing with us, or like
we might be? I mean, there was a Uncle Carl.
I'm wondering if people just have us muted. Which like, what's the point? Like, why? Like, we're hilarious. You should not mute us. We're great.
I think we're totally loved, Rob. I mean, my default is to just assume love.
Yeah, of course. So Don Baird, I saw some heat coming off of that. So let's see if he clears that guard.
Over on sheet 1, yeah.
Gabe is keeping a weather eye on that one. It doesn't need to kill it. So, and it's just wide. So it looks like
it's not going to come back
it's
either.
not coming back. So the question is going to be how. Oh, it came back a lot more than we were anticipating, but it just nestles in. Its second shot. Ed's got Ed's top shot right now, and
given that single guard though, like how would you get both those yellows out? I don't know. I don't think there's a way.
No, Molly confirmed. No, we can hear you.
Thanks,
and the lulls. So thank you. Take a look at Jeff right now. Jeff is going for the guard.
I know I'm perfectly fine with this guard. I mean, even if he guarded before he was shot, that was kind of acceptable. But
I like the placement. I like the placement of this guard because the placement of this guard is.
Yes, Molly. Thank you.
No, actually, we're on top chat right now.
Oh,
I don't
we
think
are
we're
on top chat. Thank you. Yeah, we're not on all chat. That's why we missed a bunch.
Oh
there.
no, nothing has changed.
Okay.
Anyway, I really like the placement of the guard by Jeff.
Yeah.
You put it in such a way that. People always say you can't guard everything. Jeff, I think you just guarded everything.
He did pretty much guard everything, yeah.
Daniil's going to have to either do the triple run.
Shot.
He's doing the triple run to draw or pops the guard. But it's still, he's got 2 rocks. So right now it looks like it might actually be a wick off of his top red.
I think he's going red into that sandwiched yellow.
Oh.
And it sounds crazy, but
oh my goodness.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, Molly, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Molly. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Veltri coming in. Oh, beautiful draw.
Really nice. I mean, how is Baird going to get any more than one at the end of this?
Bear's got a single on this right now. He can't really. I mean, like if he can get a double, there's no way that he can get multiple on this one unless
he
just
needs to get one, or it's probably a handshake.
Well, hold on.
Otherwise, it's going to be 2 yellow.
You're sitting. Well, you're 3/4. You can see 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
Could you ever?
You can't afford to. I think you got to get your one.
Get your one and give yourself your outs. Yeah, give yourself your outs. Yeah, apparently when I was playing against Dutt during the Stone, I did the exact same thing. But the difference was everyone's like, "You're playing against Dutt. You're not gonna get 4." I'm like, "You don't know.
Yes,
you don't know.
You got to stay in it until you're out of it."
Exactly.
I'm always there for that. So how are we looking on? I mean, sheet 1. Don really has to make this shot, or I think it's going to be over. Come on, Don. I'm trying to be impartial. I just want good shots here, but it's looking like it's 2. That's going to put Veltri up 9-3, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is a handshake from Don Baird. But again, hats off to Don Baird's team. He really tore through some competitors.
I mean, let's also take a look at. Well, first off, let's go ahead and just call it. Congratulations to Team Veltri, the 2022 Bonsqueal champions. They are indeed the Vikings of Bung Vikings for this year. Congratulations.
And I want to make an additional call out. That's not even Ed Veltri's original team. He lost some members due to people traveling for work, people that had surgery recently. So he actually had to add 2 members to this team pretty late in the game, within the week of the squeal.
So congratulations goes to Carl Lohner, Mark Zempel, John DeYoung, and Ed Veltri for taking the Bonsqueal this year. Also, hats off to the A event runners-up, skipped by Don Baird, who is our lead. Who is our lead? Yeah. That's actually a really great question. Who's the lead on Team Baird? Because I know he's a brand new curler, huh? Siracusa. I would like to mention this. This lead that we had here started at this year's Olympics.
Oh my gosh!
And has done a great job this season. So he is definitely a first year to look out for next year, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to play at the Cool Duck for the U5 and under,
the Cool Duck's a great event.
somebody steal him. Get him now.
We've got a bunch of great pretty new curlers. Matt Gallo has only been playing about a half season.
But if I'm going to continue, let me go ahead and
yes.
also congratulate Terry Chalmer lookalike Scott Alexander, Gabe Rosenberg, and Don Baird on their A event runners-up.
Let's
So
clap 'em
congratulations.
as they come off the ice.
As they come off the ice. We're going to wait a little bit. As we go, Terry Chalmers looking at me going, I don't look like Scott Alexander. It's like, no, it's because I'm ignorant. That's what it is.
Here they are.
And Jeff Grech taking the smart approach right now, taking some time to think about this through. Jeff's got the lead. Jeff is in, I would say, good control right
Pole
now.
position if we were in like the 70s.
I think the question right now for Jeff is not what my shot is, but rather what are my mistakes here? What are what do I not want?
That's the biggest thing. I'm so with you, Rob. Anytime the house looks favorable to you, the quick memory device that I think of is don't move the guards.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. We need to clarify this for 1 second.
Yes.
It's not the fact that this looks favorable for us
Yes.
against Neil Sullivan.
Yes. Oh, that makes it much more challenging. You're right about that.
Yes. So
there is no safe place against Neil
for
Sullivan.
the non-plane fielders. For those of you who are wanting Neil Sullivan, are you sure about this? Yes, we played Neil Sullivan, and I love playing against the man.
Yep.
Wonderful curler.
He finds a way to do anything with anything.
Hey, life.
Yes.
It finds a way.
It does.
I'm going to gold bloom.
Life patterns itself after Neil Sullivan.
I am going to gold bloom that for sure. Neil Sullivan, it finds a way.
I want to thank Ray Piccolini for offering both of us a drink next season. Thank you, Ray.
And
it was
as
great to see you yesterday.
If you can give me that adult beverage after Tuesday, I would greatly appreciate it.
Look at this shot on
Jeff
Grech.
Grech.
Sheet one. That's fine though. I mean, Grech again is up by 3. Oh, and that's
okay.
Was that
So
no.
As a aggressive player,
Yes.
there is a. Oh. No, that's perfectly buried.
Yeah.
Nicely done. I actually thought so. From one angle, if you're looking down at the angle, looking down at the house,
Sure.
you would look at that thinking, "Oh, the rock that Jeff just threw."
Right.
There's enough of a sliver that you could see it if you're Neil. But if
Right.
you look from the hack view, that rock is perfectly buried.
Oh,
So
yeah.
nicely placed by Jeff. The only question right now for Neil is, do I slash
I
in
think he
from the
is.
red, or do I hit and roll?
I think he's going to slash his own yellow and hope to take shot rock
I
off.
think the call is the hit and roll. You don't need to kill it with the hit and roll. You just need control, hit and roll, and you're just pushing the red out. But if you try to slash it, you might actually slash into your red, and you might be giving a bundle.
Well, no, Neil's yellow though.
Neil's yellow, yes.
Yeah.
So we're looking, for those of you who are paying attention, we're looking
on
at
sheet
Neil
2.
Sullivan's second yellow. So we're looking towards
Hammer.
the right. We're looking, and it's his hammer shot.
Yeah.
The question is whether or not he slashes, which means he's going to stay on the he's going to
outside.
stay on the outside.
Yep.
Or does he do the hit and roll, which means he's coming to the inside?
I kind of like the inside, but that's
he-
just me. Oh, no, the inside's not really there though.
Well,
the
the
inside's
hit-
really risky.
The inside's the better shot because if you do the
Yeah.
slash, and I'm saying this, you do the slash.
Yep.
Look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
where
you
that
can
yellow
easily
is.
drive your own yellow
You
out.
can, and you're giving up automatically. You're giving up 3. So I mean, for
I
me
think my back's to the
personally,
wall already. Yeah, go ahead.
I think personally it'd be the hit and roll.
I would
because,
also call the inside.
Again, you play to your outs.
Yep.
Try to give yourself an opportunity in the next end. Neil Sullivan will get you on a high end no matter what. We're waiting for Neil to do that on this whole game, and Jeff has done, I will say, a great job. I'm not saying that just because he's one of my closest friends. But
What a
he is
wonderful guy.
He has done a great job keeping Neil at bay, keeping those. If you're going to do it, Neil, I'm going to make you do it and
Yeah.
make you throw it really almost a perfect shot. So he's done a great job at that.
The other thing I like here, Rob, if you go for the inside, right, and let's say it cuts over.
I have been asked if I had a chance to breathe. I have not
You
taken a breath
breathed
for the
once in
past
the
4.
fifth, I
In the
think. I
4
saw you in the 5
hours I've been
minutes.
doing this, I
Yeah.
have not taken a breath.
So what I like here is if you go inside out, right? If you take the inside roll, if your rock is like hack weight, backline weight, and it also overcuts, you have a weird play on your top 12 yellow. It's not clean,
No.
but you could drive that top.
$5 says
Top 12
Neil
yellow.
Neil Sullivan saw something on the high guard where it's a wiki in for 4. There's just
I can see like a weird plan D that I would attribute to Neil making possible.
I see a Q, but I mean, we don't know the alphabet very
Yeah.
well. Here's Neil Sullivan with his last and 7.
That looks a little wide out of the hand. Not sure.
Wide out of hand. It does also look like control up weight, so it's going to hold that line. Sweeper's not touching it. Mark, a little confused.
Here.
There's the slash. Is the
no, it's
slash
more nose.
this nose? So it's definitely just the one. 7-3 for Jeff Grech moving into the last end.
You got to be happy with that.
If you're Grech, you're going to be you've got to be
thrilled.
pretty happy. But
Yeah.
also I will say, Jeff Grech was my vice during the PCC Stone.
Okay.
Would you like to know who knocked us out on this sheet?
Oh, Neil Sullivan.
Neil Sullivan knocked
Yes.
us out with an amazing shot in 8. So let's hope that Jeff is not doing what I'm doing, which is, what did he do against us with this?
Well, Rob, yep.
Play your clean end, and I think what will happen is that play clean against Neil Sullivan in 8, and I think you've got it. So we'll see how this is
like
going to
that.
work. No guards is going to be the key for Jeff. No guards for Jeff.
86 views on our sheet 1 for that final.
No way.
That's pretty amazing.
People love us.
People love you, Rob. The word got out that
No,
you
no,
were-
no,
that
no,
you
no,
were
no, no,
right.
no, don't you dare, John, don't you dare. You have been the amazing commentator. And let me just go ahead and just take this time. As we are ending the stream right now on our C event, I first want to thank Bev Wiedemann.
Oh my
Bev,
gosh. Bev's been planning this for 3 years.
she's had
She's gotta
3
have
years to do this.
200 hours, 300 hours.
I have heard nothing but amazing compliments to the level from which I remember from Hogwarts.
Yeah.
So Bev, of course, did a brilliant job. So
I mean, 2 ice cream trucks showed up at 2
ice
o'clock
cream
yesterday.
trucks.
I had no idea about
yeah.
that.
So first off, thanks to the organizer, thanks to all of our volunteers,
Yeah.
both everybody who was our openers and our closers, our vacuumers,
Yep.
our snackers, everybody that's been doing a great job. We cannot do this without volunteers, and thank you very much to all of our volunteers. Thank you to our competitors from not only Plainfield but also from Nutmeg.
Nutmeg brought
With
5
Potomac,
teams.
we've had people come in, and it's so nice to have people comfortable enough to come play.
Bucks, Utica, Cayuta.
Yes. Oh, Cuda Lake,
Yeah.
our buddies from Cuda Lakes. I played against them a few years ago, and it was so great to see them come back down. I'm happy to see more people coming out and allowing themselves the opportunity to try, even with masks on. See
Yes.
the N95s. I'm glad that they feel comfortable enough to come out. So thank you very much. I also personally want to thank John Gephardt.
Oh.
John Gephardt has done a brilliant job, not only during this event, but the last few events, to make sure that there is some level of audio streaming commentary that is inclusive and that is, something that you would want to hear. So John Gephardt, I want to thank you very much
That's
for
really
your
thoughtful.
efforts. So thank you very much. I
Thank
will
you, Rob.
always tell people that you made me feel, I threw a rock during the PCC Stone, the draw against Dutt.
Yep.
That it wasn't the shot that made me feel good. It was the compliment that I got from you. You have this ability to make people feel good about
Aw.
everything. So thank you very much for that.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
But last but not least, I want to thank every single team that came in.
Oh, yeah.
And performed so well. These 6 end games are just a lot of fun.
Yep.
And then when you go in and play 8, you're realizing, oh crap, they're going to give us pebbled ice and 2 more ends. We don't know how to play this.
Race day. Yeah. Sorry.
But sorry, we're saying
yeah.
goodbye to our
Matt Gallo?
Matt Gallo, the
Yeah.
amazing Matt Gallo. All right, so if you are Jeff, you've got to be pretty happy right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I think I'm gonna. I like what Jeff's doing here.
Inside the house,
not
not a
necessarily
guard.
a guard. Yeah, exactly.
Inside the house,
a
not a
top
guard.
house. Something top house.
Honestly, it's either in the house or through. I'm actually okay with back house.
Okay.
Like, just as long as it's not a guard.
Just stuff.
Just
shrinking the rings.
Yes.
Yeah. Because how is my opponent gonna get 4 if even if I put one back 8?
If Lauren flashes this, I'm not going to get mad.
No.
Let placement on the guard right now. Neil's going to draw. He needs 4.
Yeah, and these red
So-
dots look so nice behind those 2 yellow
Yeah,
guards.
you-
And the guards are great too from yellow.
From yellow, but not from red.
Jeff said those are those guards. I'll take them. I'll use them.
And let me just,
looks
again, I
great.
want to just compliment the Potomac Sweepers. They have been on form this entire
gosh,
game.
yeah.
Well done.
Terrific shot here.
Yeah, great raise. I didn't even see the raise in there. I thought that was
No.
going to be like draw behind it, but those beautiful raise. And not to take away from anything that Mark and Michelle and Linda have done. Team Sullivan has done a great job this game. It's just the control that Grech and everyone on the Grech rink has done to maintain, keeping the Neil Sullivan-ness of the possibilities at bay. They've done a really nice job. Everyone's playing really well. It's just forcing into the shots.
And Neil has basically said, hey, I'm never going to get 4 rocks behind or better than those rocks right now. I'm going to have to spend my 3rd rock at the end here with Mark Ryman and try to clear these guards. And he didn't quite get it, but he is going to get the top one here. Oh, I don't even know if it's going to go out. Okay.
He's sitting one.
Okay.
This is the pile now. The problem is going to be Jeff is like, hey, yellow's got to go.
And this could nose too. I mean, really, wherever the
Any
shot rock
any
goes, it
contact
doesn't
is great contact right now.
Yeah.
A click of rocks is going to be music to Jeff's ears
Yep.
right now. Lauren setting up. Lauren has thrown really well all game, so she's got to feel really good getting a hit to end her event final right now.
I haven't thought of her, but we can't even hear the ice. There's a little bit of ice for us.
Oh.
After all this time.
Well, I mean, but now it just detracts from my talking, and we don't want me not talk. And Lauren's got the hit and a roll that needs to get behind coverage. Okay, that's not ideal, but it is in the house. Neil can take the hit, but he's still going to contend with the two counters right there. But he does like the idea of drawing locked on to the second shot and give himself an opportunity. That's the key here.
Yes.
Very low, Rob. What did I do? Did I say something wrong? I hope
I think they were talking about your general flexibility, Rob. You're a squats guy, you're a CrossFit guy. I think he was just saying that he's seen you squat. You really get down, you get underneath the hip line.
Oh, no. I hope I didn't say anything wrong.
No, I'm sure.
Ray, if I said anything wrong, please correct me because I want to
No.
apologize if I did.
No way. And that was 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's why I want to get corrected on that one.
No. Look at this rock coming in for Neil.
Come on, Neil, get that. Come on, right there, right there.
That much.
All right, so this isn't bad. It gives you some outs if you're Neil.
Yes.
Neil needs what he can now do, barring a miss, and I don't want to root for anyone's misses, but barring a miss, Neil's got an opportunity now to get some reds out and keep some yellows in. So that's good for him right now.
Do you like this shot call from?
I love
Jeff?
the guard right now.
I do
Guard right now is like, I got 3 in the house. Now is the time where if I have to throw a guard, I'm in control of this right now.
Yep. I'm going to take this whole side away.
I cannot stop thinking about the very low Rob, so I really hope I didn't say anything wrong.
No.
I go straight to the bad place whenever I see critiques like that.
I didn't hear you say anything, Rob.
Okay.
I'm sure that we talked about how low someone got on the squat or something.
All right, so
it's a nice shot.
It's going to be a little.
Nice shot. Doesn't
Here's the
hurt
thing.
anything. You're still 4.
If you're going to be heavy, this is not a bad heavy right now because now it's like, I mean, you've got a little bit of a Christmas tree right now for the red, yellow, red, but I mean, yellow is still only going to be sitting the second one maybe. So
yeah, I don't even know what you do here if you're Neil. I think actually exactly. I was going to say right there where Neil's got his broom.
Yeah, that's
try to tuck one in.
Yeah, but the problem with that position, let me just go ahead and say
that it makes it hard to clear the top one.
It makes it hard to clear the top one right now.
Well, maybe just clear it. Yeah, get on the top one. Look
there
at this.
It is.
Like Neil can hear us.
Okay, Neil, if you can hear me, I could really use.
That's right. Look at your watch. If you can hear us, Neil, look at your watch.
I could really use a cheeseburger right now.
Right.
So
or future Neil. We could use lotto numbers.
Again, future Neil is in the chat room. We've seen him say thank you. So I mean, like
future Neil. When is the next time Bitcoin crosses 50K? Let us know.
What is Intel going for right now?
Rob, I saw a funny question on Reddit. If you could send a 3-word message to yourself 25 years in the past, what would that be?
PhD not worth it.
Okay.
Or PhD not worth, and just leave it like that, so that way I can keep myself going, well, not worth what? Not worth what? Just give myself anxiety from the future. That's going to be hilarious.
And you're like, I don't even know what I was going to go for.
Linda, that's a really wide. It just floated out there. There was just no coming back.
Oh, that's tough. I mean, it's got to at least be on the rings.
And it's looking, if he drags it enough.
I think that's a handshake.
That's
no, okay.
Not yet. He
still has a rock.
He's got 3 rocks left. He's got some time.
If I'm Jeff, I just bring another one in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just
bring it
anywhere
in.
Yeah. How are you going to get rid of 4 rocks if I'm in there?
Yeah. I don't want a guard here. I just get it in there. I don't mind changing the angles up a little bit. I mean, like, you can't really wreck your house, but a guard, fine, but I like pressure.
I mean, future Neil, if you're here, I'm going to look up at the ceiling right now. If you start to cut a hole in the ceiling and just drop a note to me, that would be astonishing. I'm looking up.
Please do. That'd be great.
No, it's not happening, Rob.
Apparently,
watch it happen tomorrow, though.
Molly is asking for future Neil to say something.
Yeah.
Are we going to hold a seance? Does anybody have a Ouija board? All right, there's that dragon from the sweepers. Nice 2-guard.
I would have liked it in, but again, it doesn't change the strategy.
Yeah, I think this
is a great house for Greg.
Neil's got to go after the Christmas tree right now. That's the best thing he's got right now.
Yeah.
Popping guards isn't going to help. He's got to make sure that
you've got to look at it. You could throw peel weight here. I don't know that you're going to get more than 2.
It needs normal. It needs normal and nose.
Okay.
Normal and nose. You need the nose so that you keep your shooter. And it's got to be enough momentum to pop 5 rocks out, and we know that any time with Plainfield you hit rock on rock, you lose like 3 feet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Our rocks are not particularly lively.
And you
Rocks
got
have to
your
be 20
hit.
Years old.
But that losing your shooter might actually be it right there.
I think that will be the ball game.
Mathematically, mathematically, you still got some guards, and you still got some opportunities to split if you can. But I mean,
No, you don't. You don't have 4 rocks that you could score.
one more. I think one more. Neil's going to be playing to his outs. He's mathematically still in it because he's got 3 rocks up top, so he can throw all of his rocks in.
Yeah.
But right now, Neil.
Well, your opponent could always miss or pick
Yes.
and drive you in.
Yeah, absolutely. Play all your rocks.
We had a shot like that last night. We were
Make your opposition throw all your rocks.
Yeah.
As best as you can do it.
I like Ray Piccolini messaged me. It must have been hours ago. I apologize. I have not looked at my phone for anyone that has talked to me, but Ray mentioned that all we could hear is bagpipes. Disregard my bad. Everything's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Oh, very low Rob was probably your voice from 3 hours ago.
That
I
was
bet.
such a long Ray.
Just to clear you.
Wow. I wonder if Ray typed it and didn't hit enter until 4
I think
hours
so.
later.
Well, he said he had multiple windows open. So, Ray, thank you, because Rob would carry that, to sleep with him
The
tonight.
anxiety I would feel,
Yeah.
I would cry later. It does not. I've got things to focus crying on for Tuesday, not anything
you've
else. If
got-
I offended anybody, I'm not going to enjoy
Rob,
myself.
you have like 3 different avenues of PhD research. That
I don't wanna talk about it.
You were genuinely just trying to craft into one massive theory, right?
Yes, I guess, I don't know.
I
All
believe
right,
in you.
Jeff throwing probably the most perfect guard you can. I really like that guard
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
because right now the splits on the guards on the top are not there anymore.
yeah,
you're gonna run.
Jeff's best next shot is just to put it directly in the wall next to him, because as long as you don't throw a rock on there and promote your opponent's stone, they can't take 4.
Neil
I mean,
is.
they can't take 3 at this point.
I mean,
There's just no...
I think there is. I mean, like.
How would you dream up even getting 3 right now?
All right, let's go into analytical
we
mode
can
here.
think about it here.
I honestly think Neil needs to be going off the yellow right now.
Okay.
I think that needs to. I think
the
he
wide
needs
yellow.
the wide yellow. I'm okay with this, but the. Ooh, Linda, that's an interesting. Well, no, Linda. The way that
Thought
Linda
about
queued
something.
that up, she queued it up. So the idea was, if you hit high and fast off the top yellow, you'll
Yeah.
careen into the other yellow, and that yellow will careen into the red guard, and the red guard will move forward. These are Neil Sullivan things.
Yes,
and
which
if you're
is great if you need 1, but
Yeah.
I don't see how throwing any 1 Yellowstone gets 2 Yellowstones in the house right now.
Well, here's the thing. If you
Okay.
can get one of those yellows in and
Okay.
the other yellow closer to the house,
Yes.
that's what you need. Because you have another rock now. You just need chances. And
Yes.
right now the chances are you need to do 2 things right now. A yellow in and a yellow closer. If you can get both of those things right now,
Yes, I don't see how it's possible here, but I completely agree with you that,
Yeah.
that's the only way forward.
yeah.
We had an interesting shot yesterday. Our opponent needed 2. They had a half biter, and we had 2 in the house, and we had a rock above their biter, just right on nose.
Okay.
And one of my players said to me, "Hey, we should hit ours into theirs and knock them out, and then there's no way they can get 2." And I said, "Absolutely not." The happiest our opponent will be with 1 rock remaining and needing to outscore us by 2 is contact on their stone in any fashion.
All right, Neil Sullivan with some heat. Neil Sullivan
be?
into the red.
Skinny.
And
A valiant try. I think we'll see a handshake now. Here
and
it
that's
is.
handshakes. That is handshakes from Neil Sullivan.
And aside from awards, I think that's going to conclude us for the 2022.
Well, first off, let's go ahead and congratulate. Let's call it now. Congratulations, Team Greg from Potomac taking the C event finals. We've got ourselves winners: Joe Asarian. No, I'm saying that wrong. Assercian.
Good luck. It's
Joe.
green on green.
Joe, and then we got Lauren and Paul.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks. Because this
Thank you, Rob Stager.
this font on this background
Yes.
closer.
Bit of a challenge.
Still a challenge.
Yes.
Lauren and Paul Luthi as the second and vice, respectively, I think. And then Skip Jeff Greck, who is a Potomac, but he will always be a Plainfielder to
absolutely.
us.
Jeff's on their board, too.
Oh,
So congratulations
he is
to Jeff's team
Plainfield,
rocking out.
Plainfield has infiltrated another club.
Oh, yeah.
This is great. We like to see this happen.
It's a slow play.
And we also want to congratulate our C event finalists. Lead, Michelle Moffett. Second, Mark Riemann. Vice, Linda Carubia. Skip, Neil Sullivan. John Gephardt. As we say goodbye,
Yes.
let's think about this whole Bonsqueal experience.
Oh
What
my
would you
gosh.
say as we say goodbye to everybody?
I mean, everyone has just been waiting 3 years for this. We've all missed each other. We've missed just the glory of fellow curlers. We've missed the camaraderie and just, again, the volunteer spirit. I had my girlfriend stop over last night, and one of the first things she remarked when she walked in the room is she saw all the raffle prizes. And sitting 6 feet from the door was a pile of cash underneath a piece of saran wrap, and she was like, there's just $100 sitting there, and it's been sitting there for like 3 days, hasn't it? By
Yep.
the front door. I'm like, oh, yeah. That's fine.
I love
So,
it. It's
yeah.
been very...
But just draws the most wonderful of folks. I think probably to a person, anyone that is a curler here at Plainfield and around the world, probably our closest friends are fellow curlers, and probably some of the sweetest, nicest, most volunteer-centric people that you know are fellow curlers.
Yep.
And so to have this camaraderie from October to April and then hanging out with some of your friends in the summer, yeah, we've all missed it. We all love it. And it's just been so great to be back.
And as a curler, to be quite honest with you, you can't beat the Bonsqueal.
No.
Bonsqueal is, if you're going to do an end-of-season blowout, I would like to see another club try to blow out the way that we do, because we're here, like, if you win, that's great. If you come in taking, let's say, winning both the spouse carrying event,
Oh my gosh, and the costume contest.
and the costume contest. Let's all remember that there are
And
other
the final.
winners. And the final. Let's all remember Alina and Mike Malarowski, king and queen of this year's Bonsqueal. As we applaud everybody coming off the ice.
I think Mike said his heart rate hits in the low 200s during that carry. By the way, which is wild. You and I cannot achieve that. And still
One
be
of these
talking.
days we will.
And Elena made a delightful 16-layer honey graham Ukrainian cake today.
It's been
too.
so great.
Everyone's so wonderful.
Well, here we go, John Gephardt.
Yes.
As we end, thank you very much for being an amazing commentator. You did a great job.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to go home and watch my game and listen to your commentary. on it.
Please just judge very nicely.
I'm sure it's delightful.
So, on behalf of John Gephardt and everybody here at Plainfield, my name is Robert Young. Thanks for joining us. Have yourselves a wonderful spring, and is it curling season yet?
Oh, we can't wait. We'll catch you next fall. Take care, everybody. Well done. That was terrific.
No, that was awesome. I love it.
Did I get a picture of us with